Yeah, like we're fluid.
We're live. We're here. What episode are we on, Nathan? What episode number is this? You tell me.
It is. Welcome back, everybody. By the way, to episode 177 of My Cup of Tea.
177. Wow.
That's Doctor Strange's address. It is 177A Bleecker Street. That's not a quote. So,
God. Nathan, less than 30 seconds into the podcast, another MCU quote. Not quote, reference.
Yeah,
reference.
well, it could also be comic. God forbid a man be a fan of
Yeah.
culture.
Forbid. I forbid it. I forbid it. We are above the
You sound
MCU
like your
fandom.
co-host. They insist upon themselves.
But I did not know that. Interesting Doctor Strange fact. Nathan could be the first one there in for Doctor Strange 3 with Charlize Theron, right? That's definitely going to happen.
Yeah. And haven't we predicted that as one of the spots?
Yeah. We did until they wiped out the 2027 slate.
It's still coming at some point.
It's coming. It's cooking. Benedict got that role on lock. But good to be back. Glad to be here. A lot to talk about today. Let's get right into it. So we have, as Nathan's amazing thumbnail suggests, we have Predator Badlands. Welcome to the Badlands.
Best start believing in Badlands. You're in one.
Welcome to Derry. I still, whenever I hashtag it, like welcome to Derry doesn't pop up on the Twitter thing. You have to put it. Yeah. Anyways, stupid. Welcome to Derry. Episode 3, right? 3, not 4. 3.
Watch episode 3, or we have watched episode 3.
I'm so hooked on like most TV shows dropping like the first 2 episodes at the same time. So by the 4th week, we're on episode 4 or whatever. Or by the 3rd week, we're on episode 4, not 3. But we're on 3. Either way. And then Nathan, you saw some movies over the weekend. You finally went to the theater. How did it feel? Go into a theater, seeing things on a big screen. How did that feel?
Being on flashbacks. It felt really wonderful to be back home because it has been a hot minute, and I think like I progressively enjoyed every movie I saw more than the last. It was a very nice tee up.
Nice.
And I also watched a couple things this past weekend that aren't newer films, but they're films I needed to see.
Oh, and gosh. You saw K-pop Demon Hunters for the 5th time, 10th time, 20th time?
No. It was around, but no. I watched other things. I watched, first off, my friend showed me the animation Over the Garden Wall, which is quite delightful. And if you ever heard, it's like a 10-part, 10-minute episode Cartoon Network series that's very like cozy fall vibe fantasy story. It feels very like fairy tale story, but it's very good. And then also,
never heard of it.
Yeah, it's good stuff, man. I recommend. And then I also got to finally watch Logan Lucky, which I had never seen until
Jesus. Wow.
I know, because my friend, he was not just event, like this is one of his favorite movies ever, and he was like pointing out like little tidbits like during. I was like, this is a good time. It was a great film too. I was watching. I was like, man, what Soderbergh could do with Adam and what he could.
I'm gonna say, did you do that just because Adam Driver and Steven Soderbergh? That's crazy time.
No, but I filled him in on the lore of what's going on because he's a big Star Wars guy. So
yeah. Adam and Steven have a good history of Logan Lucky. They had a great chemistry, great time working on that set. So
I was reading the Letterboxd reviews of Logan Lucky from everybody we follow, and Josh was like, "This might be Adam's best performance." Good Adam performances, Josh.
You skipped out there. You said, what did Josh say?
He said, like, this might be Adam Driver's best performance. He said that recently. Oh. I was like, hold on now.
Wow.
Have you seen that story? Have you seen?
Yeah.
A Star Wars. Like, he's great in this for sure, but I'm like,
yeah. Marriage Story would still be my favorite Adam Driver because I remember he had like a couple movies come out in like that 2019, 2017 run. I think Marriage Story, Last Jedi are my two favorite movies from him. Performance wise, I would also echo Marriage Story, but I don't know what else is up there with that. He's great in Logan Lucky though. I do like him a lot in Black Klansman, not 65. Very funny.
Black Klansman's really good, yeah.
So Adam has a high filmography. He's never been bad. He's been great in bad movies before. I know people say they didn't like him that much in what was that one? House of Gucci.
Right.
But I think that was a weird movie because like he was playing it straight while everybody else was playing it like extremely goofy. So that was just a tonal mix match. I don't know. Yeah, that was crazy. But yeah, so Logan Lucky, great movie. Yeah. It's funny. I was I don't know. Somebody was talking about movies from like 2017 and stuff, and I was looking them up on Letterboxd, and I had seen like a lot of those movies, but I just never, I never like wrote reviews for them. I think that was my pre-Letterboxd days. Like I forget when I started using Letterboxd. I think it was mostly like 2019. So I think like any movie pre-2019, I just didn't have a Letterboxd for rating for, which is just very funny to me. But anyways, yeah, Logan Lucky's nice. And then yeah, Over the Garden Wall. I never even heard of that. You see, that's a Cartoon Network series. I didn't know Cartoon Network was still making stuff.
It's not newer. It's definitely older by this point, but it's a classic for a lot of people.
Okay, nice. I'm gonna look that up sometime. So what are your thoughts on the movies you did see over the weekend? Let's start off with that.
Yeah, man. So I finally got a chance to see Chris Stuckman's Shelby Oaks, and boy, was I delighted, Evan. I had a great time with this one. I was mainly viewing it from the point of view of like, let's see what Chris is gonna.
Great.
I had a great time because I was very intrigued. I was very like following it. So I'm already like a huge fan of found footage and whatnot. So the whole like first 10-20 minutes being a documentary style, I was very engrossed in, and I kind of do wish the whole movie was that. But that's just a personal preference. I do like what Chris was able to do with the overarching narrative as a whole. I think the performances are great. I realized Keith David only had one scene, but he killed it. He's one of my favorite actors, so that was really good to see.
It's very classic horror movie where you get like a big actor in one scene. Like that's very like Final Destination did that recently. It's like it's very like horror-esque to just bring in an A-list person, one scene, like kill it, give the movie a very like ominous tone, and then scare off the protagonist to do something else.
Totally. I was the most excited to see how Chris was going to present the monster itself on screen and how he would craft the fear of it just being in frame, not like jump at you scary, but it's just like its presence is looming, and it's like if you're not looking for it, you may not notice it, but if you are, you'll see like an outline like behind a tree, or like the first reveal of like the footage where it's in the window on the found footage.
Really cool.
Because they're like teeing it up, and you're just watching the clip. You're focused on the girl. You're focused on the open door. You don't even realize.
Real quick, Nathan. Real quick. Yeah. So if people are watching, I want to do a spoiler chat. Spoilers for Shelby Oaks. If you were interested in seeing Shelby Oaks, you'd already seen it. It's probably out of theaters by now, maybe. But if you haven't, I'd recommend it. I know Nathan would. But spoilers moving forward for this because I want to talk about some specific stuff that was wild. But the window scene was interesting. I liked that a lot.
Yeah, and a quick congratulations to Chris himself for not only like accomplishing this, but he had already I think within the like initial week or weekend, he made the budget back. So I think we got a good hit upswing on our hands for him, and hopefully that means more projects for him moving forward. Very exciting. But yeah, in regards to the creature in the window, yeah, I love the way they were teeing up, like with the interview, especially when it got to like the investigator, and he was like, "We must have watched that tape 500 times," and then as soon as we finally saw it, my God, and it's very, I love how subtle it is. You could hardly make out what shape you're seeing. It looked like it's a tall person. There's like a shape to the head that's unnatural. And you're like, what am I looking at? What am I seeing? Those horns? What is this? It's clearly it's supposed to be a demon, but just like the tee up of it, it's like a double horror because there's the supernatural horror, but there's the real life person kidnapping the sister of it all, and just unlocking these different angles piece by piece and uncovering it was consistently unsettling.
I really agree. I think the horror part. I think Chris has a knack for establishing that like the horrific tone and like the atmosphere was very ominous a lot. There are scenes a lot where Mia, I think is the main character's name, is walking through like towns, abandoned prisons, or abandoned parks. And it's just very unnerving because you get a sense that she's being watched, but you can't tell from where. And it's again just very uncomfortable and unnerving and like eerie for the entire runtime there. So I think that for me was like the best part of the movie. It's funny you say at the beginning. I wish it was all mockumentary because me and Josh got into a little confused argument because that's what him and Edgar said exactly is the same thing. Where it's like the movie would have probably worked better as just like a what do they call it? Mockumentary part. Just being straight doc. And I on the other hand, like I agree. I think the movie would have to be different. Like you would have had to change some stuff around to make it like full on like mockumentary the entire time. But I would like that universe where it is like, you have to change the story because I was getting nervous my first time watching this, where it's full on like mockumentary stuff or seeing stuff from the video clips. And I'm like, is the whole movie just going to be her watching clips? Because early on, it goes back and forth between her, it's straight up mockumentary stuff. And then we transition into narrative. And then we transition to her getting a clip and then rewatching it because the guy kills himself, gives her the date basically. And then she's watching clips again. And I'm like, I feel like it was just a lot of like back and forth between clips, story, clip, story, clip, story. And it just would have been better if it was just give us the clips. You didn't have to transition us into the narrative, into the like flat narrative. Even though that transition scene was pretty cool. Like I like the transition away from like the camera into like an actual film story. It's just that when we got to that, the story just falls very flat. Like it feels like an early, I don't want to say early 2000s because there's a lot of great horror movies in the early 2000s. But like it falls into a very basic cliche where like the husband isn't even a character. He's just like, we shouldn't be doing this.
For a second, I thought he would be. I thought it would be like, oh yeah, I'll give you a hand with this.
Right? Like that's my biggest pet peeve in horror movies. Just believe me. Like you're my guy. You're my rock. You're my husband. Believe me. Like if anything, it kills me. It kills me.
Yeah. Wouldn't that just be like a great subversion of, because you never see it. So if someone's like, yeah, no, all the way.
I'm trying to think of a great sibling. Like, okay, I believe you. Let's lock in. Like the Malignant. The sister doesn't really like know what's going on, but the sister locks in like for the most of the movie. She's like, okay, I'll help you out. Doesn't really know what's going on, but like the sister is willing to like drive to that abandoned house for her on the cliff. But like, there's some stuff, or else you get like, you get your Invisible Man where the sister is like, you're going crazy, and then she gets her neck. But the husband was just wild to this. But for me, the big one that bugged me, Josh, Edgar, was the third act, which I think the third act, the stuff with the grandma, whatever, when you're in her house, that's a great scene. It reminded me of Prisoners. You haven't seen Prisoners, but
I've seen Prisoners.
You have seen Prisoners. You have. Okay, maybe you were joking.
Every time we bring it up, I say I've seen it.
Then you said you joking like you didn't have it. Anyways,
no, that was the last stream. I don't know why you got that. I've seen Hugh Jackman's best screaming on screen.
But then in that movie, Hugh Jackman, like, spoiler alert for a movie from 11 years ago now, 12 years ago. But some of my favorite scenes in that movie is when he encounters I'll just say, his encounter at the end of the movie at the cabin. Yeah. Great shit, great like tension at its best. This one was very good too, where it's like you're trying to understand fully what's going on here. You get like this eerie vibe. She gets very uncomfortable, and it's just very unnerving. I loved it. And then she kind of like playing mind games with the old lady at the end there. But then we get to discovering her sister. So we see Riley, and it gets very disgusting because we learn like what really happened to Riley over the past decade plus. And it's very uncomfortable and disgusting and bad. She went through some worst of the worst stuff, as we see pictures on the wall, like what she went through. Just very bad. R word there. But then what I really liked was, the whole supernatural, very much like ending of Hereditary kind of like ritual type shit going on at the end of the movie. That stuff was really cool. We get to see, like, again, I like how Chris layered or teased bits of the creature throughout the movie, and then at the end here we see like a full figure, which was very cool.
And I do appreciate that, like, he never like 100% has it in focus, even when it's like close and you can make it out. It's still blurred slightly. It's blurred. Not the main focus of the shot.
Yeah, and then but we see a baby, and then the old lady like kills herself over the baby, blood everywhere, all over the baby.
Yeah,
Cut to end of the movie, and Mia's taking care of the baby. Now we're supposed to believe, okay, Mia's taking care of the baby because one line of dialogue said she couldn't get a baby. But I feel like that's not sufficient at all to protect this baby to such a startling degree. Like, and even like we're skipping over just the police being like, yeah, this baby, we're taking it. Like it's a baby from a crime scene, for crying out loud. But Mia's gonna take care of the baby and bring Riley and put them in the same room, which is just wild to me. Absolutely wild, given what Riley went through. That just makes zero sense to me. And then Riley, at the end of the movie, naturally, smartly is like, this baby has to go because there was a ritual over the baby. Blood from the old lady went over the baby. Mia saw what was going on with the demon or whatever. Yeah. Still kept the baby. Riley trying to smother the baby. Smart Riley. But then Mia starts fighting with her. And I am baffled. I'm like, what is happening? Mia gets thrown out the window. And I'm like, that was fucked. That's fucked.
Yeah.
Riley then dies horrifically by these wolves. And then I just felt like it was one sick thing after another that made zero sense. And then, we turned out the demon had been mainly attracted to Mia this entire time, not really Riley. Riley was kind of like, a vessel in a sick phrasing of words. And then it was after Mia, and then it's like, a startling, crazy ending where she lost. And I know Chris loved those endings. I do too. I love a good ending. That's one of my things I liked. Like, you took a swing. It's a very risky ending where you have the protagonist lose like that, and then just like cut to black. I like that part. It's very risky, but I think everything leading up to that just doesn't feel earned. It feels like one just sick thing after another for Riley, who, like, again, for a character we didn't see that much of that movie aside from like her videotapes. it felt very disheartening and just very like, okay, I guess we're just killing Riley here for Mia. And just like Mia, it hinges on Mia having this huge connection to the baby enough to fight her sister over it and inadvertently throw her out a window for it. It just, that part was just never really earned. I'm like, maybe if the movie spent more time establishing Mia's psychological state than her like searching for her sister the entire time, like maybe if halfway through the movie we see Riley and then we establish some kind of like sisterly thing going on until a crazy ending where things take a turn. It just felt like it was just very like rammed up very quickly. It was just baffling to me. But yeah, those were my thoughts on the ending. It kind of like diminished a lot of the movie for me, and part of it was just that like the main story was just very flat. It was very just like, I'm searching for somebody. Every other character in this movie isn't really a character, more so like a tool for the narrative. So I think Chris, moving forward, did he write this whole time, right? Or was it just him?
I think 2 writers. I think him and somebody else.
Him and somebody else. I think that'll be a thing similar to what I've been saying about Gareth for years now. I'm like, Gareth, you need a better writer, my guy. We'll talk about for one of the news stories of the 3 births.
Yeah.
But yeah, so that was my thing.
All right. Well, you're wrong. It's fine. No, I understand where you're coming from for sure. I think there's also, it's tricky to just do the demon haunts story because it's been done a billion times. So
exactly,
to find something fresh in it can be tricky. So I think the minimal stuff presented from Chris, I think he does a good job with that. I think I especially love the constant silent terror of the cracking window, the split of the glass just appearing bit by bit. I really love that stuff. And I think it's a really interesting narrative to have it to be structured around an internet personality going missing and like whether or not it's true or they're trying to drum up hype for the next season type stuff. I think that's very like real and functions well and is a cool spin on like, hey, what happened to this person, instead of it just being like a person disappeared and I want to find the truth. This has like backing from like like people want to know like whether they're the haters or fans, like, and the idea that even like a bit in the plot she was like, I have a bit of evidence but I don't want to hand it over to the police because if it gets out to the public then they're just going to drag my sister through the mud again, and I absolutely understand the reasoning there. She just wants to find the closure at the very least, if not find Riley. But in regards to the ending, I buy protecting the baby because I think it's just born out of like human innocence there. Like, yes, there's a demon ritual, but it's funny when I see stuff like that. And it's like, obviously, yeah, the baby is infected with an evil, but my brain also goes to, can we find an exorcist or a priest or something? If we can do the dark ritual, surely we could do the purifying ritual. You know, there is a
that would have been. That would have been funny because, like you said, yeah, it is. This movie is derivative of a lot of stuff. So Chris adding in like the classic priest character would have been very funny. But I think it would have worked because that would have been very fitting.
And I don't even necessarily like need that in the movie. I could just see like that being another point of view than just having to snuff the infant outright. And so I buy saving what looks like a pure child who hasn't shown any signs of demonism yet. Obviously it would, but and I understand why I understand why Riley wants to take it out because of the evil she has seen and witnessed. She's obviously traumatized. I definitely wouldn't have put the baby in with her in the same room. That definitely is tricky. I understand probably Mia was thinking like, I don't want to separate mother and child, but she still has to work through stuff. She's not speaking. She's not in a caretaking role at the moment.
That's the part that was bugging me too. I was like, I would have loved like at least a scene between her and Riley talking. We've been the entire movie trying to get to her, and Riley makes sense that she wasn't talking initially during the escape sequence because it's like she's still in that zone. But then when they get home, I'm like, we still haven't had like a conversation. It just goes straight to smother baby.
Yeah, but I could definitely see like her be living in blissful ignorance of like everything's wrapped up now because everything I've been searching for so many years. I think it was like 12 plus years at this point.
Yeah.
She's like, yeah, everything's like she's at the documentary crew and it feels like everything's wrapped in a bow. Like, oh, everything's gonna be fine moving forward. There'll be an adjustment, but it's brighter days ahead. And I think it is that denial after being so committed for so long to finding Riley, and then so you think like, okay, well now the bad times are in the past, and we can maybe move forward better. But yeah, I think it's all just out of denial, really. And then when things come to head in the scuffle, obviously it was an accident, didn't mean to throw Riley out the window, but it unfortunately happens. And yeah, it's a dark ending. And honestly, that is the thing that I think separates this demon tale from a lot of mainstream ones that you see is, you'll get your normal like haunts and there, be like the occasional like beat ups of those being haunted and whatnot, but it never really dips into some elements that are pure evil that are unveiled in this plot, which is what would happen with the demon, right? Like all these different horrible things, not just the sacrifices, but like the assaults and whatnot that would go through, and the vicious ends that come from it that would be the reality of these actual tales of these supernatural forces.
100%. Yeah. Like that part was just extremely dark, and it makes sense from the demon's perspective. Yeah, for sure. It's like, and I like Chris getting into all of that. Like this is an actual demonic force, so it's going to do some truly dark stuff. I just feel like it wasn't earned all the way.
And if for nothing else, this shows that Chris has a competency in filmmaking and crafting a story. Like this may not be like anything majorly groundbreaking, but we know he's capable of like forming something that is cohesive and fairly fulfilling on most fronts, I'd say.
Yeah, I think he succeeds on the direction of it all. I think that's something Mike Flanagan noted as well. Whenever Chris was talking about Mike Flanagan talking about Chris, I think if you're looking at the script and you're looking at like Chris's, like if you're looking at dailies, for example, I think you can easily see like Chris has a real knack for establishing the scene, establishing the horror. So I definitely think he definitely has an eye for it. So I'll be curious to see what his next movie would be like. I think this was pretty while of course it is an original story, it does fall like into something we've seen before, but in a darker fashion. So I'll look for more original stuff. And stuff like that, because I see a lot of like what's it called, Blair Witch in here, stuff like that. So I see a lot of that kind of influence, and of course the demonic possession stuff has been done a lot. So yeah, it is difficult to try and set your own identity in that. I think he did do that, but yeah. So yeah, commendable movie. I didn't hate it. Other people extremely hated this movie. I was like, I think it's going a bit too far, guys. But I think for a first feature, this is a solid debut. I didn't walk out of the movie pissed, but I was like, damn, that was dark. And just thinking about it more and talking about it more, I was like, I liked it less and less. But I commend to swing. I always commend with horror movies to just go full on what the genre is, horror. So that was nice. What was the third movie? Or so you saw? No, what was your order?
First I saw Shelby Oaks, and then I immediately went into Begonia.
Nice, Begonia with the GOAT, the queen, the one we should all bow down to, Jesse Plemons.
No. Yes, I got you.
Damn it! Emma Stone. And Jesse Plemons,
the third actor.
But yeah, they're phenomenal in this movie. Other people are saying they don't think she's Oscar worthy in this one. I disagree completely. I think Emma Stone's Oscar worthy. It is a tough year to get in for Best Actress. That's a different podcast, but I think Emma Stone is just phenomenal. I think she's amazing in this movie. What's so interesting about this movie is that like she has to play the part of what is she telling truth? Is she telling fiction? Is she lying? So,
There's
but
a
she
lot.
said it with such conviction and such like seriousness and such urgency that you really don't know what her mind's thinking at every moment. You just know that she wants to get out of her predicament either way. So it made everything so unique and so interesting. And then just the close-ups, I think Yorgos' direction in here is really, really strong. The close-ups on the actors, like I think this is my new favorite Jesse Plemons role. He's been in a million things. He's great in a million things, but his like emotional intensity in this movie was very strong. His like him playing it with such intensity, but also with fear and worry, but also with the same amount of conviction as Emma Stone's character is, but just coming from a different place, a different state of being, is very interesting. And then like his glimpses into a more darker animalistic past with the whole like table crawling scene was phenomenal. And then just again, his back and forth with Emma Stone, revealing more and more about the insecurities and the unpleasant experiences that he went through with the whole cops thing, which was crazy. And then with his mom, that was crazy. And it was just, this movie kept like, developing his character through these crazy sequences.
Yeah, all built on the back of the motivation that Emma Stone's company was involved with damages to his mother's health, ultimately.
Yes. Yeah.
And, basically just coming down to like, probably some type of payout and just like, I'm really sorry, but, I really think this is a lead through to a breakthrough. And it's very just like, it's an apology, but like, it's corporate mandate.
Exactly. They just stuck her into a hospital bed and said like, yeah, we're done with it. Yeah.
Yeah. And it becomes like an interesting perspective because like, well, there's like the twist itself, but talking about Emma Stone's character, it is amazing how much they were able to convey going back and forth between my thought process of like, is she or isn't she? Did you have a particular hope, whether she was or wasn't an alien?
No, not necessarily. No. Full spoilers again. Once for Begonia, by the way, full spoilers. Do you think we should do spoilers for Begonia? I guess.
Maybe. I think it's fine. I think that's fine. Yeah.
Okay. Spoilers for Begonia. Spoiler free thought. I think this is one of my favorite movies of the year. By the way, I think it's a top 15 or so of the year comfortably, for me at least. And yeah, Emma Stone and Jesse Plemons are incredible. But going into it, I figured she was an alien. Spoilers once again. I figured she was an alien, and that's kind of what it ended up being. But I say this all the time. I know me and you say it all the time as well. Just because you can predict something doesn't mean it's bad. And I've seen something about that where people are complaining that like, well, I predicted that she was going to be an alien, and the ending was kind of like, oh, well, duh. But I think it still says a lot. And there is some interesting discussions where people will say like, the alien aspect of her being an alien, does that validate the rich? Does that validate her at the expense of Plemons' character? That everything Plemons' character was doing was right, even though he's incredibly a bad character and flawed. And I don't think that is the case. I don't think Yorgos is trying to say that, boom, Emma's an alien. Everything that Jesse was doing to capture Emma is validated, and everything that Emma's doing, like the whole rich, is like, well, Jesse Plemons is right. The rich are bad. I think it's much more complex than that. I think what the movie is trying to say is that like the fears that Jesse's character was experiencing, him getting to that point of having these wild fears and these insane ideas, even though they are proven to be true, I think it's the process of how he even got to that point where he had no other like healthy outlet other than thinking that this person's an alien. Because although he was correct about Emma, he wasn't correct about the other 10 or so people that he killed, thinking that they were aliens as well, which was also very unnerving. So this is a very unpredictable character, And on top of that, Emma, or the alien character, choosing to kill humanity. I don't think that's proving Emma's character right. That like, oh, humanity is fucked. I think from her perspective, she is thinking humanity is fucked primarily off the back of like her experience with Jesse Plemons' character. I don't think it's a huge indictment about like world being fucked. I think it's more about, again, the process about like how if humans continue this no-win situation, the zero-sum debates about choosing to believe your own mindset over the other, it's just going to end in like nobody winning, that kind of perspective. Other than like the rich are right, humanity sucks, that kind of stuff. It's a lot more complex than what people are giving it credit for.
Yeah, I think so, and I think it's also just built off the backs of like she goes into a whole tirade about the human history and like the endless wars that they cause and the extinctions of things and whatnot.
Yeah.
So it comes from a fundamental background of viewpoint. I think this might have just been a straw for the camel.
Exactly, 100%. That's kind of what I was thinking as well. But yeah, because I think I see a lot of people saying like it vindicates capitalism because boom, Emma Stone's character was actually an alien and all these bad things have happened. But I don't think it vindicates like powerful figures or it vindicates capitalism. I think it just argues that like the ideological wars, the ideological arguments that have no real fruitful solution and go to people go into extreme actions to validate those ideological arguments aren't going to win. We're all going to fail, and some people are just going to be left innocently hit with consequences as a result of all these powerful figures, basically. Which is the case at the ending, where it's just like all those people, innocent people, just dead, which is wild. I did not see coming. That was absolutely one of the craziest endings I've seen all year.
Yeah, I was also like pretty taken aback that just seeing that ending as well, where all of humanity fell, but the wildlife seems okay, which I found interesting.
I didn't notice that.
There was like a dog running around on the beach in one clip, and I was like, oh, okay, that's interesting. But the children went. That's ooh.
Goodbye, dogs.
Yeah, but I was very captivated by this whole journey. First off, like when they're abducting Emma Stone's character, she's fighting back very well.
I like them showing us
two idiots versus someone who's definitely had defense training.
Yeah, I like them showing us that she has had defense training, that she's been like boxing and fighting straight from the jump. Because they were not ready, like they were getting their ass handed to them, which was very funny. I did like that.
Yeah. But I think what was also like really captivating is how much Jesse Plemons' character got right.
Yeah.
In the alien situations, like the shaving of the hair, like later she's on the ship, like I couldn't contact because they shaved the hair. Things like that. The exact model of the ship is like 99% correct. Things like that. There is a horrifying sequence where they are electrocuting Emma Stone, and it is nauseating how long the painful screams go for, whether they're in the room itself or vocalizing from far out of the house. It is very unnerving.
Agreed. Yeah, that was sickening to watch.
Yeah, and then even to that point when you would think he's like, oh my god, I made a horrible mistake hurting this human, then he's like, oh, I didn't realize you were a queen, which ends up also being true. I'm like, oh my god, holy shit. And because I watched it the whole time and I'm like, she's just an amazing survivor right now going through this, and I am rooting for her to get out, but I am like also when I went into the movie I'm like, I hope it is real, she's an alien, but like a very adverse one.
But the whole ending was insane, just like him getting into the closet, unveiling that he has like a bomb on him, and then her just getting flung out. That was wild.
That's interesting, like progression. First off, he ends up tricking him to go and have an antidote for his mother, which ends up
Oh
being
my
poison.
god! Just
very dark.
Just giving his mom antifreeze. That's sick. That's crazy.
Very sick. And then but then she gets to the point where she's uncovering in the back room like all of these journals and the previous victims that he got. And then when he gets back all pissed off, like clearly ready to kill her, she's taken very like in charge of the situation because she's going full like gloves are off. Like how many were actually aliens? Ended up just being 2 out of I think at least 10 or 12 subjects, which is horrifying in itself. But honestly, I was like, okay, she could be truthful in being an alien right now, or maybe she read enough of the journals to bullshit her way through this to
That's
take
what I was thinking
charge of the
too.
scene. I was thinking it could be that, and I was like, okay, cool. I could see that being the case. And then, later when they're infiltrating her work and she tricks him into the closet. Interestingly, that closet is actually the gateway to the thing. The explosion ends up just being a freak accident. But part of my brain, before that was thinking like, oh, maybe he detonated it purposefully to like, bomb the ship, maybe to stop him. I don't know if that was part of the plan or not. If like during the transmission he would have exploded anyway.
For sure. But yeah, I love the sequence too when it's like, okay, she gets knocked out, she's in the hospital car, the ambulance, she's safe, then she just gets out. And I'm like, oh, okay, here we go. Where she's just like Emma Stone's physical acting, where she's just like lips like so long, and then get to the building. People are just like, where the hell is she going? What the hell? She's like, I'll just be right back. I just forgot something. And just like
she's barefoot, walks over the broken glass like nothing. I'm like,
yeah, I was like, hey-o. And then her getting into the closet and actually teleporting was hilarious. It was like perfectly Yorgos. It was crazy. And then the production design of like her building Jesse's house was very good. Like, just how dark and kind of like eerie his house was compared to like the bright metal shine of her place was very interesting.
Looked very lived in
for sure. And then we cut to the end. The whole set, just small set of like the alien ship, was very cool and very just super weird.
I did like the countdown to like the lunar eclipse showcasing Earth is flat, and I was like, that's very conspiracy theorist. That's a good little touch. And then it's like, oh no, that's actually that is in this world. I'm like, oh okay. So all the production was like very well done. A very tragic bit with his brother as well. It was clearly someone who has troubles mentally, and Jesse Plemons is just like stringing him along like throughout his life the entire time. He has no like a real sense of self, and that's I think ultimately what leads to the end, which is very unfortunate.
100%. His life was very closely tied to Jesse, but he also didn't have the same commitment to this horrific actions that they were doing as Jesse. So it just culminated in a very tragic way. And I was like, oh, that was one of the bigger surprises. My audience was like, holy shit. How was your audience for that? Were you by yourself?
It was about like 5 other people. It's a pretty big auditorium, so nothing crazy. I think there was a couple chuckles I might have heard throughout, but otherwise, a lot of uncomfortable scenes in this movie.
A lot of uncomfortable scenes, for sure. So okay, that was a great movie. I gave it was a solid 4 stars for me. It might be higher the more I think about it. I really liked it.
This is my favorite stuff that I see from Yorgos. Like this and Kinds of Kindness, I think have been my favorite stuff. I need to revisit The Favorite because I haven't seen it since Oscar season when that happened. Poor Things I enjoyed, but not as much as most people. So, but these other projects I've seen him do I've been all about it with the weirdness angle of it all.
Yeah, I've seen more people enjoyed this than some people enjoy this more than Poor Things. I'm still on the Poor Things hype train, but I think I go favorite Poor Things, Begonia, then Kinds of Kindness. I did really like Kinds of Kindness. I just prefer like straight story to like anthology every time. I wonder what you would think about Killing of a Sacred Deer.
I do need to revisit that. I remember I did have the ending spoiled for me, but I think I've forgotten it properly, so I don't really know how it plays out. So I definitely do want to revisit. Is that with Colin Farrell?
Colin Farrell and the kid, or he was a kid, but Barry Keoghan.
Okay, yeah.
He's growing up now a bit. I think he wasn't a kid. He was like early 20s when he did that movie. But I hated that movie. But that was my first Yorgos movie. So I want to revisit it and get I wasn't used to what Yorgos is all about.
Yeah.
And I was like, that was just one of the most unpleasant movie experiences I've seen all year. But I hated that. But then now that I get it, I'm like, now that I get Yorgos, I want to revisit it and see how I feel. I still might not like it, but
if I had Emma Stone, you'd be all about it.
Yes, you got me red-handed. You got me. There's a person on Survivor named Rizzo, calls himself Riz God. And he always is like, cinema baby, that's cinema baby. It's very funny.
Fresh memes and media always throw me for a loop. I mainly see it on like YouTube videos presently, but I'm like, every time something will slip through the cracks in media, and I'm like, I don't know if that's gonna last ever.
But okay, your last movie you saw, I assume, was Back to the Barnyard, right?
That's right. That's what this is.
You ever watch that TV show? Back at the Barnyard? Back to the Barnyard? I don't know. What
I think Back at the Barnyard is the show title.
Barnyard.
Otherwise, it's just Barnyard, the movie. It was on Nickelodeon. Yeah,
that was a wild movie.
Good stuff, yeah.
But yeah, we are here for Predator Badlands. Nice custom title you got there for us here. Great movie. Dan Trachtenberg does it again. Are we surprised? No, we're not. Because Prey is excellent. Killer of Killers is excellent. And this movie is excellent. I had a great time with this movie. One of my dads, I didn't think my dad, I told you, I think my dad was much more excited for Running Man than this movie. But my dad locked in. He had a great time with this movie. He immediately started texting his friends after this movie, and he was like, I got to tell my friends about this, which is always good to get your dad's seal of approval. But this was just a very uniquely told, very fun action movie with a lot of heart, and it just looked very cool too. This is and with a great score too. Like, this movie has it all: great action, great heart, great main character, a lot of good sentimentality with the family bond, found family across the everywhere you look, there's found family.
Everywhere you
look. There's a heart. But yeah.
When are the Full House commentaries, Evan?
Waking up at 3 a.m. listening to the Full House opening on Nigga Night.
George Lopez is bouncing on a trampoline.
Oh my!
Boom, 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 boom.
That's you can't replicate that shit, man. Waking up like on the couch.
We don't have cable anymore, so like
we don't have cable. Yeah, it's like that was the shit. Like, you wake up and it's like, oh, I might as well finish this George Lopez episode at 2:30 because it's a fantastic comedy.
Yeah, like turn over and Timon and Pumbaa cartoon, right on.
Yeah, right. So yeah. Anyways, our next commentary is like season 1 of George Lopez.
Let's do it.
Where would that be streaming? That Paramount Plus?
Yeah, probably because it's a Nick property.
Because it's a Nick property,
or it's Netflix probably.
But either way, George Lopez is not in Predator Badlands.
That you know of.
That we know of, yeah.
Because the Duffer Brothers are. Did you know that?
I just saw a clip of that. I was like, that's weird. But yeah, the Duffer Brothers played. If you don't know, Duffer Brothers are the creators of Stranger Things, and they were speaking Yautja for the ship. What's it? Deck ship, Kuwai's ship, deck ship. In one of the sequences, which is pretty crazy. Of course, they're covered over through like robotic sounding stuff, but really, really cool. But yeah, man, this movie rocks. This movie just flat out rocks. It's one of my favorite like action going experiences of the year.
Similarly, as soon as this movie starts, when I first saw the teaser, I was like, oh, Dune.
Yeah, it's very Dune-esque. Yeah.
Yeah, like to the soundtrack as well. It's like, and then the widescapes of the desert.
You get the text along the text at the beginning of the movie is like, predators aren't prey or whatever. It's like, okay.
Yeah.
The text was great. The score is blaring. The open desert landscape of like, okay, this is he's in his Denis back here.
Yeah, man, this is the most involved lore we've ever gotten with the Yautja species of the predator, and amazing. It is shocking it's taken this long, frankly. But it is so cool. It's crazy to think too, because I'll get into like connectivity later, but this is in the far distant future of the whole Alien and Predator timeline, confirmed by Dan.
Yeah, I think it was Brandon from comicbook.com or something like that. But like he gave him like a whole list of like the order, and or somebody else actually, but he gave him a whole list of the order, and he said, "Oh yeah, this is the last place in the timeline, even past Alien Resurrection." I'm like, "Oh wow,
yeah."
Like, that's
which I was taken aback too, and I was like, "Is it still canon?" Okay, because I was wondering if anything would be ignored for
it might
do like what they were gonna do for original like Alien 5, like bringing Ripley back, but it actually is her. It's not the clone.
Alien Resurrection might not be canon. It still could be canon, right? Because Alien Romulus doesn't tread upon like Alien 3 Resurrection because it takes place beforehand. But like
it's in between Alien and Aliens.
Exactly. Yeah. So Alien Resurrection can still technically be canon, but I think they're gonna just like walk around that.
Yeah, I think it's more so he's just confirming. Yeah, it's farther out than that year.
Exactly. Yeah, I think that's the most thing instead of saying it's canon.
Because even confirming, he was like, "That's about as much as I could say," which just fires on all cylinders for me that they're definitely plotting the big connectivity. So I'm excited about.
I agree.
There's a lot of interesting usage in this film, but yeah, I love Deck's character so much. I love building up like this runt of the litter, trying to prove himself that wasn't even truthfully given the chance by his father leader. Like it was just the selflessness of his brother saving him to give him the opportunity to prove himself, whether or not he would be accepted or not. After the fact, he's going for it. So he's going for the biggest kill ever. This unlikely Yautja, which I think is phenomenal.
Yeah, the Kalisk. But wow. What an opening sequence with his brother. Again, his brother's like his name is Deck. I think his brother's like Kwei, Kwei. And just phenomenal stuff. Like when they're fighting, I'm like, okay, this brother is like an a-hole, right? Like he's over the cliff. He was like, good luck, buddy. I'm like, oh damn. But that's the Predators for you. Okay, that's the Yautja for you. Cool. Yeah. Then they get back and they're going over like the ship. I'm like, okay, I'm liking this bond some more. And then he's like, I want to fight the Kalisk. And the brother's like, you'll die. Don't do that, buddy. By the way, if you haven't noticed, full on spoilers for Predator Badlands. It had came out this weekend, so I know some people might just be unaware of that. But full spoilers for this movie. And I loved everything with the brother character because you start to quickly realize that he does care for Deck. Then, like you said, the dad, what we can glean is that just based on his size and probably some earlier failed missions, assigned his own brother, Kwei, to kill Deck. He was supposed to kill Deck in that first initial cave sequence. He doesn't. And the father is pissed. And that opening sequence, just masterful stuff. Just like really just, father of the year type shit. In all the worst ways. And that was just, again, we never see this much emotion and just like connectivity with the Predators. I know some people online are like, in the comic books and I'm talking about the films. Shut up. Yes. Nobody's reading the fucking comic books. And that's what kills me. People are making these, logical reviews and reactions saying like, oh, we've never explored this before. Then you see some idiot in the comments being like, well, you didn't read issue number 55. It's like, shut up. Sorry.
Don't be that guy.
Don't be that guy.
Like, by all means, enjoy the expanded media, but like, don't expect the large populace of the modern audience to have seen it.
Exactly, 100%. But yeah, the dad character was just so imposing. I thought this dad character was like the leader from Killers of Killers, but they're the two different characters, right?
Yeah, different characters. I think it's a whole different
timeline.
Yeah, the whole timeline is. I don't even know where Killers takes place, but yeah, it is very interesting. And man, the great design, by the way, on the father character with the white dreads and the cape and the crown, very good.
Sick design, so sick. Yeah.
But yeah, man, I also really love the designs of the ships and the speeders being fairly consistent with what we saw in Killer of Killers. I like that a lot.
Sorry, say that again.
A lot of this, like the land speeders and like the ship designs that I saw were what pre 1-for-1 of Killer of Killers, which is great.
Agreed. Yeah, for sure. They look very, very close to each other.
Yeah. And so kicking off on the journey, I was also really excited to see, because I knew this is like, we've never been in the future setting with Predator. We've always been in fairly like present times of Earth. So
yeah,
I was excited to see how the weapons have evolved in the hunt. So there's a lot of cool ones. There's a lot of cool ones teed up where he has like the energy crossbow like Omega has, kind of. And
Omega.
And a few other things, but then he ends up losing them in the forest because he gets got by the vines.
He is a bad predator. Like, he's a bad predator at the beginning. It's not good.
A very prideful predator. And it's like, trying to prove yourself to be this thing is why you're not going to make it. Like, they've sent you to die.
Yeah. And you sent yourself to die. Also, real quick, at the beginning of the movie, I never asked anybody this, but like, he watches his brothers die, and the next clip, he's like on the floor, knocked out. Do you think, in like the ship's like already within the atmosphere of this crazy planet? Was he just like depressed on the ground and he kind of like passed out, or was it just why was he?
No, I think there was like a quick shot where he got like knocked into something and was knocked out from the jerkiness of the turbulence.
Got it. Because I was confused. I was like, I saw him like pounding the door. Next thing I know, he's like on the ground. So maybe I just missed that.
You grab some sour Skittles real quick, and you're like, okay,
probably. I was devouring my sour punch straws. Yeah. So yeah, the whole into the atmosphere sequence was pretty nuts, pretty cool too. Just him in the atmosphere, the bird comes crashing at him, and then it gets hit by like the
I was like, my God, you're riding this down, and then it was like it took a minute for the shield to come on, but then it was just like you have very open space, and you just rides it down to the surface. How did you live?
Open as hell. Yeah, that was crazy. Yeah. But yeah, then he gets hit into like the big like Harry Potter vibes. Where he gets hit into the forest and like the trees and vines are all coming at him. I thought he lost his iconic like sword, his weapon, at the beginning too, because it like he starts slicing them off, then it like takes it and yanks it. But then at the end, he has like another one and he just gets it out of there. But it's so funny, the dichotomy, seeing him try and survive that just barely getting out of that forest, and then seeing like Tess and her group just like wreck shop by themselves and just completely, as a synthetics, completely obliterate that area. Very funny.
But also when we meet Thea, Ellis Fanning's character,
I
did not expect her to be such a delight. I thought just going off of my knowledge of other androids, I was like, all right, they're gonna be pretty like follow protocol. Here we go. But they gave like, this is established. This is an android with the most sentimental emotion to connect with the creatures they're studying.
Exactly. Yeah, I think her, and was Tess given emotion as well as like a field agent, or was it just Thea?
I think they both were, but I think one just fell into, one's under higher pressure from Mother's programming, I think.
Yeah.
To fulfill missions, versus Thea, who is pretty happy-go-lucky, but is also very like skilled as a fighter.
For sure. This movie, Elle Fanning is always incredible. If people are unaware, watch Sentimental Value. She's in it this year. doesn't have like the biggest part, but she is looking to be Oscar nominated, and she's great in that movie. Straight up drama. But this one, she's delightful as hell, like you said. She's super delightful, super heartwarming. Just forms an immediate connection with Deck. Betrays him a little bit towards the middle. I didn't expect that. I was like, oh damn, okay. That was really interesting. But again, this movie is so found family out the ass. You have Deck and Quay kind of like having this intense relationship with their father. Then you have then you have Thea and Tess having this connection to literally mother. So it's like father, mother, they both have different stuff. And then, Deck and Thea come together and form their own family, regardless of like their parental figures. Their father disregard him, and then mother, Tess or Thea, has to learn to disregard her own mother and programming there, which is just very cool. And then they form their own family unit. So this is just super, super interesting family dynamics all over the place. And not even that, we learn about the alien too. The Kalisk has a son, daughter, or whatever.
Bud.
Was it Bud or Butt? I keep saying Butt. Is it Bud?
It's Bud.
Just Bud, like Air Bud. I heard Butt at first.
That's your fault. I'm chewing them Skittles.
Oh my gosh. Sour Punch straws.
Getting silly on Sour Punch.
But okay, Air Bud. Air Bud was cool.
Adorable design.
Very adorable design. I didn't know this creature was even in the movie. Was this character in the trailers? I didn't watch any trailers for this.
I don't think I watched past the teaser, but I think they are. But I didn't watch. They're on the poster too. They're on one of the posters. Didn't see it.
That's crazy.
I think if you open the letterbox poster right now, he's there.
That's really cool. I don't know the gender of the of Bud.
I believe Bud is a she.
She, okay. Did I take a word for that? Or I never want to doubt you, Nathan, because I'm always proven wrong these days. But okay.
I swear.
Okay, he's giving me the salute. I solemnly swear I'm up to no good. But it was very cool. I just did not expect that. Did you call it as soon as that Bud related to Callus? Did you call that as soon as Callus was on top of Deck? That's when I connected the dots.
No, I didn't, because I'm stupid, but also I'm naturally so I take in what you're giving me at face value. But also I did, because they look so different that I didn't even think about it. And the whole, especially establishing being the main hunt, and I was more worried how can Deck defeat something that continuously regenerates? I don't see how you could do it.
Yeah, I can see why Weyland-Yutani wants that creature. Hell, I would have wanted that creature. Automatic regeneration, that can help us cure a lot of shit.
I really love the line that Thea says, where it's did you is your ship hyper speed effectively? It's we humans haven't cracked that yet, because they're always cryo sleeping.
Yeah,
it was really good. Which the Yautja also cryo sleep.
Yeah. Damn, we get another Alien Predator costume before GTA 6. I know, right? GTA 6.
Probably not. Probably not that soon, but I see where you're coming from. Love it.
What up, Draven? How's it going, man?
Yo, dude. So this is a great adventure that they go through, and then having Deck go through that connectivity, hearing the tale of the wolf on Earth, and how they represent their protector of the pack.
That's I don't care about the wolf, but then he kind of succumbs to the wolf idea too towards the middle, towards the end of the movie. I really like that, because at first he was cool story, I don't care, but then he really takes it all in when he's kind of forced to, when he's kind of by himself, when he reminisces. I really liked that, because that's a very pivotal part of the movie. And that's something that I was thinking about after the movie ended as well. Is I'm all about that switch. Is the switch earned? And I think it does make sense there, because after that switch, he does lock in both physically and mentally, as a big warrior. But yeah, as soon as he goes back to his ship, when he feels like he's been, or he leaves, Thea and Bud, and he's kind of all alone, he kind of resorts to thinking back on his brother. So like the sentimental aspects about like preserving that connection to Thea, I think makes a lot of sense, where he's willing to actually go rescue her is pretty crazy. And then like, receive.
Lost Evan for a second. Give him a second here, guys. But yeah, I have. Let me reboot the map. But yeah, I do love Deck's self-reflection of realizing the connectivity he had with his brother. That was an emotional connection that probably doesn't translate to many other Yautja. Translated with them too, and how that would translate to his other found family.
I'm still here.
Yeah.
Wayland got me.
The eyeball got you from Alien Earth.
Still one of the more freaky designs from the year. But yeah, the whole found family stuff just felt so earned by the end of the movie. It's such a sweet, him coming together and him learning everything that like you previously thought like he was just kind of like ignoring whatever. He was really taking it all in, like with the worm creature. When he went through
that's so great, having an organic shoulder cannon instead of the real one.
Loved that. Really, really loved that. And then you get to the point where he like rips the other one from Tess. Was really funny. Like, that's mine.
That's not yours.
Yeah. That was so cool. But yeah, like it was so video gamey, the whole last section with the
Dan said he was inspired by a lot of games for this.
Okay. Big time. Like I was watching this, me and Jalen are elbowing each other. Like, this is classic video gamers, like press, whatever to distract the enemy. And then you have like Thea's legs just like walking around, all the characters being like NPCs getting distracted while they get like dismantled, decapitated. That was really cool. And also, I think solid use of just Weyland-Yutani synths in general. I think we brought in the gambit of like how they're perceived. Like Thea and Tess, as Elle Fanning has been talking about, like they are more so of the slightly complex, more so Thea, complex synthetic organism that you'll see in like an Alien Earth or like the classic Alien movies. Not on the verge of like Michael Fassbender, where it's like thinking about humanity and life and all that kind of shit. But just complex enough to like have a connection with humans, while the other ones are like strictly like soldiers, where they're like not built to be as complex. They just like follow orders one for one. Cause I saw some people complaining about like these synths are just like regular stormtroopers. But I think it kind of works because like you have your complex ones with Thea and Tess, then you have your other ones that are just built for like just the mission and just like following orders. So that was a really cool use of like the Weyland-Yutani synthetics in general. But yeah, great stuff from Deck in the third act. It was just perfect character work.
So good, man. I was trying to track down something. So I noticed there was a specific number in this version of Mother, which was 062578. And I wonder if that was a significant date in the Alien franchise. So I was doing some research. I was like, is that maybe when they started filming the original Alien? I went to go look at that. That was actually, this date is like about 3 weeks, I think, before they started shooting. But in uncovering some logs from, I believe, H.R. Giger himself's involvement on the first Alien project, that date appears to be the day that they had finished the sculpt for the xenomorph head of the actual like suit for filming for Alien. So I don't know if that was intentional, but that is an alignment of real world date within Alien, which I think is really cool.
That's so cool. Knowing Dan, you had to think that was intentional. But that's really cool. I didn't know that. But yeah, just the action scenes are really cool, really ingenious. We kind of skipped over it, but like the whole action scene against the Kalisk in the middle of the movie was just really, really cool. One of those things where you don't expect him to fight it until like the end of the movie, but he fights it towards the middle, and it's just a huge, crazy creature. And as I said earlier, as soon as it got on him and didn't like bite his head off and just like it sniffs him and pauses, that's when I was like, oh, bingo. That's
what?
That's really
because I saw it on the Wednesday early access when it was coming out, so it's been humming. I think I did clock that I think I did clock that he wasn't being attacked by the callus because Bud had spat on him, which is how they mark the safety of the tribe between them.
Exactly.
I do remember accounting for that, so I think I did. Or at least like I didn't know if they were particularly related. That's the thing. I didn't know Bud and the Callus were related, but I knew that they were probably of the same clan.
Yeah. So that was really cool. So I wonder, you have to assume every part of that clan has that regenerative ability? Like, can Bud do that in future installments?
I think so, and Bud's already bigger by the end of this movie.
That was shocking. And got bigger. That was just a really big surprise. I was like, okay, Bud growing. Like, how much time do you think had passed between then and the end of the movie?
I don't think, probably not long. Maybe like at most a month, maybe.
Yeah, I was gonna say the same thing. Like maybe they gear up. Like maybe they just chill for like a month. But yeah, and also at the end of the movie, did you expect him to go back and like kill the dad? I was wondering because I was like, he's been so on board with like bringing home something. Like I'm leaving here with something. But by the end of the movie, like he's doing all this to get Thea back. I'm like, I assume he doesn't want to kill Callus anymore. But then when we get to it, and it's like Tess is the one that ends up killing Callus from the inside out, which was wild sequence, just like freezing it, freezing it.
Yeah, so I wasn't too sure. I didn't think Deck would be about his father's point of view of these traditions anymore. But I didn't know if that meant that Deck would just never return and he would just be a nomad in the galaxy, a nomad Yauja.
That's what I thought was going to happen. Yeah.
Yeah, something like that. But then when he was arriving, I was like, okay, if he throws Tessa's skull, I will be pretty happy. And he does.
Nice. That's like, okay.
What's
cool.
that?
Yeah, what's that? It means nothing to me.
Basic ass android.
And then they immediately start throwing hands, and I was like, okay, shit. I was worried though, because first of all, the dad's a fucking cheater. Whenever they go invisible, that kills me. The whole invisible shit is it's cheat. Like in Killers of Killers, when the samurais box in that alien, then the alien cheats and goes invisible. I'm like, you're getting your ass kicked by that samurai.
They've always been cheaters. They're like, oh fuck, word, I'm gonna die. Let's blow up the planet.
Right? I hate them. It's like, oh yeah, we're gonna die. Let's nuke the entire planet. Let's loot the entire town. Sore
losers, or what they are.
Big time sore losers. Yeah, Arnold was fucking that guy up.
Honor my ass.
So yeah, he goes invisible. But then I love the whole, again, the sound design and the visual effects, like which is so cool in this movie. The way that like you can see the dust particles reflecting off the camouflage was really cool. Very smart by Deck. And yeah, again, just using everything he learned to defeat his father by, not working alone, but with the help of everything he's come to learn and love and know. It's a very sweet message. And yeah, he does overpower the father. That was really, really cool. And then I was worried because, like, you killed the father. Now what? Like, are you going to be in charge of your clan now? Deck? What's the plan here?
That's what I was wondering. I was like, okay, are they going to honor him as the new leader, or are they going to all turn on him? How is this going to roll?
Yeah.
But then over on the horizon, ships incoming. Now,
Did not see this coming at all.
I don't know if you've heard through the grapevine, but first off, this is Deck's mother coming, who's probably not going to take this lightly.
What's so funny is that, like, the mom's coming back from whatever trip she was on. I was like, wait, where's your son? Wait, where's your father? Like half the family's gone now. Like, damn, Dad, what happened? Damn.
Yeah. And this would be interesting. So we've never actually seen any female Yautja species on screen before. Fun fact: they are much larger than the males, and therefore much stronger. This has been, not to be like in the comics, but like this has just been a part of the Predator lore like since the beginning. So
yeah, I saw a comic panel in one of the comments that I was scrolling through. And like a story about how this mom predator had to go track down like her son or something and kill him, something like that. Kill him and his friends for what they did or something like that. And the mom looked very imposing, but I was like, oh, that's just a cool comic. But I didn't know that was like, okay, the mother figures do look bigger. I wonder if the mom was told by the father that like, yeah, our son needs to die. So I wonder if she's coming back home expecting Deck to be dead, not her husband to be dead. So yeah, that's interesting. But yeah, where were you going with this?
No, nowhere much. Just that I'm excited to see how this is going to play out. I wonder if she's going to be frustrated at the death of her husband, or admirable that the youngest, smallest of her offspring was able to overcome such great challenges. I think it proves such a worthiness in Deck's character in their eyes. I think it should.
It really should, but this is extremely surprising. Where you see the horizon, you get your classic horizon shot. But I just did not expect Mother to come into this, because again, this is a very focused family storyline with Deck and his father, Deck and his brother versus the father, Thea and Tess versus their mother. But then we get Deck's mom coming into this. I guess you can immediately assume Predator Badlands, a sequel, is going to take place right after this, like no time jump at all. But I can't even now predict where the story is going to be going. But it seems like an interesting jumping. I think Dan talked about like this being an interesting jumping off point, the mother's arrival. But what does that entail with the whole story? It could be anyone's guess. But I'm excited that he's thinking about this. We're still not thinking about like close AVP connection, because I thought like, okay, Badlands is gonna tease us a little bit with what we could possibly see with the AVP movie. But at this point, I'm like, Mother's coming in. How does it connect to the end of Killers of Killers? Because give me a refresher here, Nathan. At the end of Killers of Killers, the pilot and the samurai. Samurai's one-handed now, right? Did he get his hand cut off?
He lost his arm.
They're just on the run from like this predator overlord person at their current time period. Because I think Killers of Killers takes place before Predator Badlands or whatever.
Yes, that's true. And the Viking mother was refrozen into one of the tubes.
So what do you think's happening? Are we getting two just for the Predator franchise? We're getting one storyline for the Predator franchise where it's just Predator Badlands sequel, and then another one where it's just like Naru, Killers of Killers sequels, maybe Arnold. And then those two will connect. I don't know. I don't know how you connect those.
Yeah, that'll be interesting.
It's all Draven. Yeah, so there's Arnold Pocket coming back, which usually, like, for example, in Alien Romulus 2, I do not want Sigourney Weaver to come back. I do not want that at all. But for some reason, my idiot brain is fine with Arnold coming back. I think because I just trust Dan Trachtenberg more than what's going on with the Alien. Even though I do love Alien Romulus. Alien Romulus was very upfront with like its nostalgia in a way that like Dan hasn't been. He's been more careful with it than Romulus. Even though I am a fan of Romulus, that part is very just like boom up there, very much like a Force Awakens type shit. But I like Dan's restraint so far, even if we see a picture of Arnold. I think Arnold would work best like as a voice in an animated sequel, rather than just seeing him with Naru. It feels too fanficky right now. But maybe it could happen. Maybe it could just work naturally. I'm just more excited to see where Naru coming back and give me more Amber Mid Thunder. Yeah. Imagine Amber Mid Thunder working with Deck and Elle Fanning. Come on.
Well, that's very exciting because when the credits finished rolling and she woke up from the cryo, it's very intrigued to see how she's going to navigate the future moving forward.
Yeah, that part I just have no idea. Somebody give her a gun. Really cool. Amber Mid Thunder walking around with like a
boomstick. Yes,
that'd be so cool.
I said it so fluently, Evan didn't catch that I made up a post credits.
Aren't you talking about the end of Kills the Killers?
No, I was talking about this movie.
Oh, this movie. Oh, no, very funny.
Anyway, but I have suggested the idea that because they have contiguous gladiator matches, that they could just have Arnold and Danny Glover like unfrozen and fighting again and again through survival situations until they're aging into their present day ages of the actors for whatever they want to do for a storyline.
That'd be really cool. I forgot Danny Glover's also alive. Was he in the post-credit scene too?
He is, yeah.
He came back for 3 shitty Terminator sequels. Surely he can come out of Predator. We're Dark Fate defenders over here.
Maybe he's counting. I don't know. Salvation counts. Never mind.
3 Salvation. He wasn't in Salvation.
His likeness was.
Is there no Arnold likeness? There's Arnold likeness in Salvation.
It was like very last minute, so the VFX team didn't have enough time to make it look smooth. But it is a CG Arnold fighting Christian Bale, I think.
I don't remember that movie at all. Wow.
Yeah, it's been a minute. And then Genesis, and then Dark Fate good.
Have we not watched any Terminator thing on stream?
No, not yet. No.
Okay. Wow. Terminator and Harry Potter, guys. We'll get to them eventually.
Terma Potter.
Who win the fight? Arnold versus Harry Potter. Hello.
Harry Potter.
Harry Potter. Yeah. Harry Potter.
Are you kidding? All
right. Stupefy.
That is, could I have beat Voldemort with a gun? Is a question.
I'm gonna need a gun. Oh, actually,
yeah.
No, you can't. Yeah, because like you can shoot Voldemort, but then he would just like turn into like smoke or whatever, and then he would just kill you.
True. No, Draven.
My apology, Draven. It's okay. You can just leave the chat. It's fine.
Picture, if you will, Draven. This is the 5th timeline, alternative timeline. The ending of T2 still stands. It's okay. It's an alt story.
Maybe that's not his problem with it, but I know a lot of people were.
A lot of other people's, yeah.
Yeah, I'm like, come on, T2 is still a movie. T2 is still a thing. Like, it's not taking away T2.
Woke lady being John Connor is terrible. It's terrible.
She was good.
She's really good.
Something like that. Mackenzie David. Davis.
But I'm very intrigued. I was very admirable that Dan Trachtenberg had such restraint of not shoehorning any obtuse Easter eggs into trying to set up, because we always have this criticism for things where we're like, it's teeing up the cooler movie you want to see over the one you're presently watching, and then you got to hope it does well enough to actually get there next time. Here we just had a great movie, and there was there was not one single image or mention of a xenomorph whatsoever. I was genuinely surprised. My 15% is out the window.
Yeah, I thought, but so far we have seen zero connection between Dan and the Alien franchise.
There is a Independence Day alien skull on the wall in Deck's ship.
Oh, really?
Love
that. Cool. You're lying.
I'm not.
Okay. Yeah. Okay.
It's the biggest skull on the wall. Like, that's not the T-Rex one. So yeah, there's no like direct plot cross, like not really, other than Mother being in this, which is significant. The Weyland-Yutani Corporation.
Yeah. yeah, I'm very curious. We know Alien Romulus sequel is getting started next year for like a presumably 2027 release date.
Evan, if I got Thea, Deck, Naru, Andy, and Rain together, oh my god.
That's peak. That's too peak. That's too peak. That's too peak. That's too much. Kaylee Spaney working with Elle Fanning, working with Amber Midthunder. Take my money.
The idea
I've seen that 20 times in theaters.
The idea of having Andy's timidness paired with Thea's just out there personality. Come on.
I need it. Fuck.
Oh, dude.
Also, it was part of my news story, but we're talking about it right now. The producers for, I think, writers, whatever, for Alien Romulus 2, they confirmed that they are not going to Alien 3 us with Rain and Andy. You're not going to wake up to you're not going to Alien Romulus sequel and be like, boom, they're dead, which was wild.
Yeah, we need to have consistent protagonists that run through long-running narrative.
Yeah. To put it from a problem with Dark Fate is that it tries to act like it's being new and subversive, but it's just redoing T2 with different names. That's fair. That I can see. But I've always been, I guess, throughout my history, I don't mind Alien Romulus, which is pretty much Alien in 2025. And I don't mind. I love The Force Awakens. And Dark Fate is kind of in that vein. There are great ones like a Creed, which puts its own identity into a very simple Rocky formula. But I see what you're saying, Draven. You're allowed to stay in the chat. I take it back because that is a valid complaint.
As long as you're not an asshole about it, we don't care.
Exactly. As long as you don't, DM us, calling us, tons of words.
Every tweet I make about Rian Johnson, I keep getting replies. I'm tired of them.
That's crazy. 8 years later, people are still out for blood.
Someone messaged me an hour before we went live. It was like, "How much are they paying you per post?" And I'm like, how do you still think are you Jesse Plemons?
Yeah. I wish we were getting paid. Shit, I'd be the biggest show in the world. Hell yeah.
I would openly say yes. Go see it.
Yeah. I get $100 per word. No.
But
yeah, for me, I'm just like, if I'm 20th Century Studios, I would make Dan Trachtenberg the Taylor Sheridan of our studio. Just give him a blank check. And what I mean by that, people Taylor Sheridan created Yellowstone and all those Yellowstone spinoffs for Paramount. He's basically giving them money, which is funny because recently Taylor Sheridan's leaving Paramount for Universal because he doesn't want to. Him and Ellison, the new head of Paramount, are butting heads. But so that was I'm just give Dan full reign of the Predator franchise and the Alien franchise. I really want to know what he thinks of the Alien stuff because I know we had Fede Alvarez doing Romulus. Fede said he's not coming back for a Romulus sequel. We don't know who's directing the Romulus sequel yet, right?
Right.
We just have the writers on board to do it, but we don't know who's directing it yet.
What if it's Dan Trachtenberg?
That'd be great. He has too much on his hand. He already has two. He said he has a third Predator idea that he's cooking.
Okay.
So he's cooking up some stuff. So he's doing his shit.
But what he's been able to do to refuel this franchise has been nothing short of spectacular.
It's a miracle. I was calling for the franchise to die in granted, I didn't love Covenant, so I came out of that being time to retire the Alien franchise. But I was like, how do you make a good Alien movie that people are gonna clamor to? How can you make a good Predator movie? Because 2018 Predator was dog shite.
Do you remember the setup at the end of that movie where they gave Boyd Holbrook a Predator armor that had way too much bells and whistles on it? Where he looks like a Predator suit, like a Predator, the mask and everything, in a suit, slick black, and had an absurd level of cannons. It also had the dreads, which I'm like, why would it have that if they already have that as the
That's
outfit?
wild.
Shit was weird. I
I
was
don't
like, are we
remember that.
appropriating the outfit?
Oh, I think I do remember reacting to that in our commentary. Did we?
Yeah, we did them all.
We did them all.
We did Prey, so now we need to.
Yeah.
We're
gonna do Badlands.
Killers and Badlands. Yeah.
But yeah, we never really reacted to Killers of Killers. I can't wait to watch that again.
Totally.
But yeah, great movie. Great movie. This franchise coming up, again, like I was saying, I thought Predator needed to like just end that franchise, but Dan brought it back to life. Fede brought Alien Romulus, and then we have Noah Hawley's Alien series. Like the Alien series is on a good trajectory now.
Yeah.
And now Terminator needs to get its get back.
Right. We are at a great tee up for an Alien versus Predator with the likes of these characters because, when it comes to both of them, like with the Predator, they clearly have more personality than any of the Xenomorphs. The Xenomorphs don't have any redeeming qualities to connect with. They're just ferocious hive of monsters that you are excited to see them do their kills and stuff, but ultimately you want the characters that you care about to get away from them, beat them, and escape, destroy it. Like especially if it's like the last one on the ship, like how can we get it out of the airlock or whatnot? It's always the traditional thing. You don't connect with them. The Predator would be the closest you do, but we've never had proper connectivity outside of maybe the first Alien versus Predator. By the end, on honoring the scars with the final girl. Yeah. So now the idea of having Deck, a fully realized character, lead the charge of fighting against Xenomorphs, it's amazing. Amazing to
I would love that. He's strong enough now to definitely fight against a couple of aliens. Like him and Bud, especially Bud. Like, aliens are like so, they're the perfect organism. So I think what can constant regeneration do against acid? Right? Like acid is just going to tear through anything. Even if you regenerate, it's just going to keep tearing through things. But I don't know. So that's just off the top of my head. But yeah, just seeing them all come together to fight aliens, please. I need it. That'd be really, really cool. And of course, like a modern look at like the Queen as well. That'd be really cool.
Yeah.
I think we have to see that just to, of course, get more aliens. So very intriguing, very cool. Can't wait to see what happens there. But let's take the road all down to Derry.
And got Derry.
Okay. So what are your thoughts on Welcome to Derry episode 3? Give it to me, Nathan.
Very good.
Bah.
Nah. Draven, why don't you like anything?
Why do you like anything? It's crazy.
I know. I'm sorry. I think it was a pretty good episode. We have all of our main kids now connecting, developing connections with one another. I like that a lot. I like the whole segment that we have in the graveyard. I thought it was very like spooky fun. It felt very very Amblin, very Stranger Things. But then also I was very compelled about stories with Halloran and stuff going on there.
So I had an interesting. So I didn't watch this at night. I watched this during work. I love my new job, guys. I could just I'm grading papers. I teach online school now, and I just have like Welcome to Derry on my phone, just like the corner of my standing desk.
You need the scope.
Yeah, I know. Usually I'm gonna watch this at night, but I was watching a Twitch stream yesterday and I just got distracted. Usually I like to watch it on my big screen TV. And I asked Jalen what he thought of it because he was watching it with his girlfriend. And he was like, it was okay. And I see it and I'm like, I like this more than episode 2. I think for me, and again, I made my complaints pretty apparent last week with episode 2. I think episode 2 was just very messy in terms of like storylines. They were introducing us with a ton of main characters in episode 2 that it made each storyline pretty like short and messy. In my opinion, like it made the narrative pretty messy, and it was just a very unengaging, if that's a word, episode. Just unlikable episode because everybody was mad at everybody. Racist as hell town. It got annoying quickly.
I was going through a thing which was basically fleshing out the differences between the book and the film adaptation of it.
Okay.
And it's very clear that in the book, especially like the 50s setting, Derry is abhorrently racist.
Yeah.
A lot the entire time in that setting in the book. So I guess that's what they're bringing to life here as well.
Exactly.
It's kind of hard to like overtly do that in the 80s. I mean, not that it didn't exist and wasn't there, but it was like it's so prevalent in the book in that time period. So I guess that's why it also is like there's a whole thing that's to come with Halloran is the one with the Shining, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
There's a whole thing to come with.
Yeah. I can't wait to see what goes into there. But I think right now, I think everything with Halloran is great. I would say I'll use the great word. He's my favorite character so far. I just like his screen presence whenever he's on screen. So I like his like the deeper look at the Shining ability. Because I was remembering what you said about how Pennywise only appears in front of like kids, right? Like what's the stipulation again?
Okay, so he can appear in front of adults, and he does, and he attacks them, but he primarily targets the children and creates that sense of isolation and unbelievability to tell any adults to further drive up their isolation and fear so they taste better.
Got it. He's a really hungry motherfucker.
Yes.
So, yeah, because I was like, oh, wow, he's like actually meeting Pennywise, Halloran's character. Like we go as far as to see like the whole was it like the center of Derry underground with everybody floating.
That's what wild. That is like the same location from the movies where Pennywise lives effectively.
Exactly. That was really, really interesting. I did not expect to see that through Halloran's perspective. I love that really like crazy scene, just him seeing like, who are you? Like, that was really, really cool. Once again, great job. That was Bill Skarsgård voicing that, right?
Yeah, for sure. And it was interesting because then like we zoom in on his eyes and then it starts to transition to these visions that Halloran starts to have. And it's unclear if this is stuff that Halloran experienced in the past or stuff that's to come in the future in the disaster that will eventually come to pass.
What stuff are you talking about?
Like he was having visions of like a masquerade party and stuff, and like there was like a lot of outbreak of violence and stuff happening. It was like very quick flashes that he was having pain suffering through while he was aboard the helicarrier.
Yeah. Okay. I gotta rewatch that. But yeah. I assume this stuff from his past. For me, he's got the problem I have with the movies, mostly chapter 2. They build up to a scare and it's pretty effective, and then a over-the-top CGI thing pops up and I get taken out of it. I think, Draven, what you're specifically talking about for me was my problem with the episode at the end with the bike chase, which was really CGI heavy.
Sure. It felt like Goosebumps, which I like Goosebumps.
It did, but which is interesting, Nathan. I made that same comparison. Who are they talking to? But I mean, just internally. I made that same comparison where I was like, it felt very like goofy and Goosebumps-esque.
I was like,
show isn't Goosebumps.
It's not, like, but I'm watching this scene and I'm like, there's nothing rated R about this at all. I could show this to a child and it'd be fun.
Right? Like for me, it took a tonal imbalance. Like 90% of this show was like very serious adults, reminiscing about the horrors and all kind of shit like that. And then the last 10 minutes, just like these kids being like, I'm just making up shit for shits and giggles, and I don't believe you what's going on. And then CGI, you're back. Okay.
There is a very interesting thing that was pointed out in like the stuff that I was watching for the comparisons of King's writing to adaptations, which is it's honestly very hard to adapt Stephen King consistently because the way he writes stuff is he's not really writing stuff that's particularly horrifying. He writes the perspective of the character that's witnessing the horror, and so every descriptor brings into realization of your mind what they're presently feeling, like to every like minute feeling, like in your gut, like pit of your stomach type feelings, and that's what builds on the horror. So something that's you would see out of context to be like, oh, that's not particularly horrifying. In the mind of the character, it is. You know, like that feeling of like you're laying in bed in the dark and like you have a leg hanging out over the bedside, and like could something grab you in the middle of the night, and then something does in the writing. To like bring to life a horrifying image is tricky with that because you're seeing like on the outside perspective of the experience of the target.
That's a good explanation there. And just as you're talking, like I go to the ones who do it effectively. I think the one who does it effectively is Flanagan. I think that's a lot of like what makes Doctor Sleep so interesting is that you're witnessing all this stuff through the little girl's perspective, which makes it, or Ewan McGregor's perspective, which makes it a lot more engaging and like, you know, immersive, while also making it very frightening and crazy at the same time. Like you picture the whole Rebecca Ferguson baseball kid scene. Like that's wild. You're looking at it through his perspective because he's looking up as like a little boy. So like the perspective is pretty different. But yeah, Draven, that complaint is like what it lost at the end of the episode. Because again, it's weird, right? Like I like it chapter 1 more than chapter 2. Because I liked the kid stuff. I think Andy did good stuff with the kid stuff more than the adult stuff, where the adults just like I was never really frightened or I didn't feel the fear that they kept on saying they were feeling throughout it chapter 2. I just was not immersed in it, and it was messy. The skeleton guy in the woods was also kind of shaky. I didn't mind that part though.
I don't mind it. I definitely found him way more effective being the cold open in the shadows.
Me too.
That match reveal, I thought that was very well done.
That was really good. Yeah.
But then to have him just in broad daylight, just be like the usual Pennywise creature scuttering at you.
How many times are we going to get that? That is like.
If it ain't broke for his formula of scaring kids, I get it. But like,
I get it because like I think that's happened a couple of times. We're only in episode 3, but it's happened a couple of times now where it's like an X character will appear behind a wall or a corner or something, and then you turn around, it is closer. It's like, okay, we've done that, and then next thing you know, it turns into a creature and starts chasing the character. I'm like, okay, like this happened with Lily in the store. It happened to this guy in episode 3 in the woods, and then this happened to Ronnie. It's like, okay, I get it. I get it now. So it's like, hopefully they can just like get out of that like formula. For the show, it's the opposite for me so far. I'm more interested in, but that's what I'm saying, Draven. Like that's what I was trying to get to. Where it's like in the movies, I like the kid stuff, but so far for the show, I'm actually liking the adult stuff. Like last week, I was much more engaged with like what's happening to Hanlon and his wife and what's going on there than like the kids and Lily. Oh, actually, I did like Ronnie meeting Will in that detention. That was a really cool scene. But otherwise, it was just like a lot of, you don't believe me. I'm getting bullied. These kids are annoying. Marge was an asshole. I hated that. But this episode, 90%, I liked a lot of the adult stuff. So what I found fascinating, we already talked about Halloran. That was a really cool scene. I liked him getting saved by Hanlon and then following that up with Halloran talking to Hanlon at his wife's house. Very strong character relationship building between these two black, dudes, talking about like their time in the service or like their experiences in the service, and Halloran once again talking about Hanlon's like amygdala, his fear response was a very cool scene. He was like, "You're one I know I'm not going to fuck with." Like that was a really cool. Like I want you to like stick with me because I know I can trust you, kind of thing. And that was cool. And it's coming from the perspective of Halloran, but from Hanlon, he's like, do I trust this guy? He talked about my son, but I never mentioned my son. Like, so I could understand his hesitancy, but I think Halloran did a good job of like building that rapport. But we'll see that develop. But I like the start of it here. at the house. That was a really strong scene.
Which I ultimately think Halloran, and what's his name? The dad?
Hanlon. I'd say last name Hanlon. Yeah.
Yeah. I think Halloran is going to be Hanlon's in for getting him connected to confront Pennywise, which obviously that's for the service, but I also think Halloran is going to find connection with running into the events of like the children pursuing Pennywise to stop it as well, and I think they're all going to end up coming together, and Hanlon will obviously be like probably the secret weapon of going to actually defeat Pennywise here because he doesn't have any of that fear. It's obviously been established in the movies, but it was also alluded to in the cold open of this episode where the young sergeant's friend, the general's friend, shot him with a slingshot and was able to wound Pennywise because there was no direct fear.
Yeah, Francis and Rose. I liked that a lot too. You mean you're getting back to someone? Oh, thank you, Draven. You reminded me about one of my other complaints about this episode. I mentioned this last week. I was like, last week she hoed Ronnie's dad because she's like, I can't go back to that place. I'm telling you, I can't go back to that place. And then we get there and she's chilling, making beds with the maid. I'm like, show. I need you to tell me what is so bad about this place. I think what's happening? Why? She just leaves. What's happening here?
I guess the argument that the filmmakers would probably say is that had she said what she actually saw with what Pennywise did to the kids would have sent her to like a far more extreme treatment. But I mean, I don't think it helps that you saw your dad in pickle jars that you saw. Now, granted, she only knocked over like one pickle jar. It wasn't the most. It was like, she had
a lot of pickle jars on the floor. It was a lot.
it was it was in her vision, but then when it actually cut to, it was one jar.
Was it just one jar? I thought
it really was. Like in the perspective, it's like, yeah, that's weird, and she has a history, but like, it wasn't. I can sweep this up real quick. If it had been every fucking jar, then there would have been probably an extreme treatment.
But I think she was screaming like they're going to kill me, or something like that. She was still screaming profusely for a long time there.
Which probably would be the case, but I think they also established, like the guy who's letting her out, is that she's made connections with people while she was there, like this friendly nurse. I think if that nurse wasn't there, then she would have had a worse time. But luckily,
but the show's not like I was expecting like a Pennywise incident at the place.
Okay, that would make sense. Yeah, he's done it before.
Yeah, or something along the lines of just something that really scarred her about like, I cannot go back there again. Because she's just out of it again, and her and Ronnie are friends, But that part did kind of bug me because I'm like, I knew the show was going to do that. I knew we were going to get like, we got to skedaddle out of the asylum because I was just like, what was the point of ratting on the dad anyways?
Which is such a huge climactic moment of the second episode.
It was a huge moment. It's like, I went up there anyways. Like I sold out the dad and I get sent back to the asylum anyway. So what did I even achieve by doing that? So that kind of did bug me. I still am a fan of Ronnie more so than Lily, but I get the show is going out of its way to help me get back into Lily's headspace. And I do understand Lily more so. But she's not my favorite character. Right now it's like Halloran, Ronnie, Will, Hanlon, that kind of stuff. The black characters. And now Rose. I like the Rose character, the Native American woman. She's locked in. One funny part that was also I was dying at work. In the prologue, the 1908 prologue, we see Francis. We learned his name is Francis. Like the not the sheriff, but the military chief.
The colonel.
The colonel. I always get him confused with the sheriff. The sheriff is like the extremely racist dude.
That's Bowers' grandfather.
Bowers, thank you. I'll put that in my notes. That's Bowers. I'm just gonna call him Chief Bowers.
There you go. CB.
Not Powers. Damn it.
Austin?
Thank you. So, what was I gonna say?
Maybe it's
I
a
like
general.
another thing I don't quite get is how does the general, maybe that's his name, General Francis, know what it is they're looking for when it's established that when you leave Derry, you lose memories from there.
Well,
Has
he's
General
in Derry.
he's in
Well,
Derry.
he's operating in Derry, within the grounds of it, so he would have the knowledge of it back to fulfill these.
Well, I see what Draven is kind of saying.
Sure.
Francis was a kid. Even in 1908, he was like, "Yeah, next summer I'm gonna have to leave, or after the summer ends, I'm gonna leave."
Mm-hmm.
Cut to the present where he's in Derry and he's on a mission to find whatever it is. We don't know. There's obviously a long period of time that we're missing. Like I think they said like we haven't seen each other in like 50 years or something like that.
Yeah, I think the
So
way in for that would be his slingshot is ultimately what Halloran uses to track Pennywise. When you are reminded of Derry, the memories will flood back in. That's what happens with the Losers Club in Chapter 2's opening when Mike's calling all of them. It's like, hey, it's Mike Hanlon from Derry. It's like, oh, fuck, what? And their hands start hurting from the scar. So I think it's possible one day the general just found his slingshot one day and then had some memories like, oh, yeah, Lily. And then, or Rose. And then was like, oh, but the horrifying shit we saw. Oh my God. And he was clearly of a high level rank probably by that point, so he's probably like it's
your audio cut out there at the end.
I think him already being a part of the military sees the idea of Pennywise could be something that maybe could be weaponized.
Agreed for sure. Like, yeah, there is a gap that we're missing, but I think like what you said, the long and short of it is that like he probably had something that reminded him of Derry. He came back to Derry with the mission, and it kind of reminded me. I think their mission, by the way, is to use Pennywise, right, against whatever military they're going after, right?
Yeah.
It's like to use the fear stuff against like their in real life enemies, like they're
and then use someone without fear like Hanlon to
obtain
capture it.
Capture it. Yeah. That part is a little bit just like like we got to use this to fight some unknown, like the Russians, I guess.
Sure.
But that part of it is like not really being touched on, but what is being touched on is like the fact that they have to find this and control Pennywise, which I do like because then like we get a good scene between Halloran and the general being like, you're assigning me to look for this, but I don't think we should. I think it's going to be very, very bad if we keep going down this path. So not looking good for Halloran or the general, more so the general. But yeah, I did like the scenes with him and Rose. But what I was going to say earlier, what was very funny was in 1908, we cut to after the whole circus incident and Rose saving him, or this is beforehand. Rose and him are just running through the woods, and then he goes into the forest, and she's like at least 5 times, no, stop, don't go in there, don't go in there, don't go in there, don't go in there. And he just keeps on going. I'm like,
yeah, kids do that.
Are you an idiot? Like, no. Like,
well, I think it comes from like like, you're just trying to get the upper hand in this game of tag. I ain't gonna fall for it. You can't catch me. They're children, sir.
It was weird. It was weird. I'm like, what are you doing? I'm warning you. I'm being serious. Stop it. Like, at least turn around and be like, what? But he kept on going around.
He doesn't know what we know.
Yeah, obviously not, but it's just like it was just a very funny sequence because like I warned you like 5,000 times, don't go in there. And then he just runs on into the woods. The military part does seem weird to have in what's a prequel show. It feels like something that would happen later.
Like later in the timeline, he means, I think.
Like post chapter 2?
Which can't happen because Pennywise is dead. But
it is very funny because like he's gonna box Pennywise. Like the end of the show is gonna be Hanlon boxing Pennywise because he's not afraid.
Probably because that's what the kids do in the first movie. Effectively, is beating on them with different like pipes and wood planks. Yeah, it's take the chair to him. Yeah. 3 minutes of playtime. 3 minutes of Pennywise.
If they say that, if Hamlin says 3 minutes of playtime before beating up on Bill Skarsgård, 10 out of 10 show.
Exciting. It'd be so fun. But yeah, I think like similarly how we say like, you know, it's even if you know the destination, the journey's still effective, like we keep saying. Like we know they're not gonna weaponize Pennywise. I'm more so invested like, okay, how are the kids gonna come out on top of this whole journey? That's usually what the focus is for it.
And again, that's usually the focus, but right now I'm not that invested in the kids. I do like that they come together now. That's definitely better than like them being separated as they were in episode 2. They're together now. Ronnie and Lily seem to be on the right path, especially these two. Not two. Will's okay. I get Will's hesitancy. Richie's just like fucking around. I'm like, Richie, what are you doing? I get you don't believe them, but then him being like, oh, my cousin, I met my uncle. It's just like, dude, if you're gonna lie, at least do a better job of it, man. And then like after getting caught in his life to be like, well, we all know this is crazy, right? Like, don't crash out, buddy. Like, come on. And then Will doesn't like back up the girls. Like the girls leave, and Rich has the nerve to be like, man, it's really hard making friends. Yeah, when you're lying to them, Richie. It's hard to make friends when you're basing it off of a lie. He's like, it's really hard making friends. Yeah, no shit when you're not being truthful with each other. These girls are laying their emotions bare, and you're just like, oh, well, my uncle, my cousin, I don't believe you guys. And it's just like surprised.
Yeah.
But now they have this whole life and death situation. Explain to me the crypt scene. The crypt scene happens, the camera pulls back, and like we just see a flash, and then we see Will coming down the street. Did something happen with Will? Are we supposed to glean anything from that? That was a weird shot.
Think so. I don't think there's any switcheroo.
Like, why do we have like this? Like, Will looks up, something's there. He takes a picture. Cut to like.
I think it's just to build
overhead shot of the crypt, and it's like.
I think it's just to build. I think it is to build the tension of like, did he get him? Did we lose one of our guys in this long chase?
Okay,
I think so. And then it tees up to the final shot where they develop the photo, and it's like, oh, we see it's a clown, which I was looking at. I was like, is it? That photo blurry as hell.
Blurry as hell. I was shocked that we're already getting like them seeing Pennywise in episode 3. I'm like, we have 5 episodes left. Like, I thought they were gonna first see him like halfway through the season or towards the end of the season. But they already see
episode 7.
Yeah, they already see like a visage of like a silhouette of him. That's pretty interesting.
I suppose there is the question of like how long can you truly hold off of when like you're marketing his face around the show, which I guess that's how you're getting the viewers is like keeping them on board is like the promise that he is to come.
I mean, if I'm a viewer, I'm like, I want them nowhere near Pennywise for as long as possible.
Yeah, I think that's purposeful. Is like people will be like, oh, I want to see Pennywise, and then they're watching like, oh fuck, don't go to Penny. It's like when I watch Godzilla -1, I'm like, Godzilla, don't show up, please.
Yeah. Don't go to Ginza, whatever it's called.
But I'm excited to see how the further development happens with Halloran. I'm also realizing the absurd levels of racism is important to the plot that is to come for Halloran's character in this. It's established in this time period. It's set up in the first It film when they were recounting the history of Derry. So effectively, Halloran is able to. I think this is teed up in this episode when he gets back from his mission and he asks the general for like a place where they're not getting rained in on. Halloran opens up a place for Black individuals called the Black Spot, where they can hang out.
Black Spot?
Yeah, where they can all, convene and be at peace. And a group of races end up burning it down, and Halloran ends up using his shining to save individuals from the fire.
Oh. So there's like two.
There's still tragedy that will occur to a high degree in that fire, but he is gonna, at least in the book, he does end up saving people from.
I thought that was Hanlon, whose father died in the fire. Is that a different fire?
Yeah, different fire, because I think that was like an apartment fire.
Okay. A lot of fires happening in Derry. Jeez. Yeah. But isn't it just an apartment fire? But then also, isn't there a factory fire that we see in It Chapter 1? With the hands beating against like the.
Yeah, I think that was just that was Mike in a alleyway, and Pennywise was freaking him out while he was on his bike going home with some meat.
But wasn't Mike talking about like that was like one of his relatives or like ancestors? Isn't that what you're talking about? Like, isn't Mike related to Hanlon?
He's related to, I believe he's related to Hanlon, but Halloran starts the black spot, which ends up getting burned down by a group of racists, and he uses his shine to save people. That's a separate event.
Got it. I would just say like there's a lot of fire incidents because doesn't Will like eventually die in a fire or something like that? I don't know if anyone has this problem, but do the kids come off a bit too modern for the 60s?
Are they too woke, Evan? Just kidding. I know that's not what you meant, Draven.
No.
I think
that's what Andy said. Andy Muschietti.
Yeah, we jumped 2 segments of timeline for this cold open 1908. We jumped 54 years in the past instead of 27.
Yeah. So we'll see, because that would be kind of a really interesting thing to go from like different time periods every season. Because I think people are going to be kind of connected to these kids, and like we're just going to drop them at the end of the season. But
it's also interesting that like Pennywise, even though like he's awake, he doesn't necessarily like is just up for like a year. Sometimes he's awake for like 5 years. So you could have an ongoing plot of his existence.
So I wonder if they might change that idea, because I heard about them going into the past with other seasons, but like I could see them wanting to stick with these young kids if people start to be more connected with them as time goes on.
I think so, yeah.
Or they just kill off Will, Ronnie, and everybody. Yeah. But yeah. What I'm saying is, didn't you tell me like that Will dies in a fire as well? How many fires are there? Didn't you say Will dies?
I don't think Will dies in the fire, but his parents did.
So Hanlon to Mike, or
am I saying? Sorry. I meant Mike's parents. Will is in the show.
Will is the guy in the show. He's the kid in the show. He's the boy.
I don't think he dies in the fire. I'm so bad with the names of like the people that died off screen. So
Draven, who died? Does Will die in the fire, Draven? If you know the lore. I think the problem with the kids' plot so far is that we already know what's going on, and we are just waiting for them to catch up. I don't think that's the problem for me. I think the problem for me, because like that's the thing with it too. We knew what was going on with it. We knew about Pennywise and them getting fucked over by clowns. That's just like everybody knows that's the story of it. So I don't mind them going through a situation that they're unfamiliar with too.
Yeah, and even so, it's not like our only focus isn't just that like we have to overcome Pennywise. It's like, hey, we have to prove that her father is not a murderer and free him. That's dangling on the line here.
That's what I want to talk about before we end this conversation here. Obviously, he didn't murder the kids. We have this conversation with Ronnie's dad and the Chief Bowers in the police station. And although we know Ronnie's dad didn't kill the kids, are we supposed to assume that Ronnie's dad was actually there though, or like in that area when he popped open the cigarettes? And Ronnie's dad had that look. Ronnie's dad had to look like I
absolutely wouldn't, because he works there. Sure, there would be a spare pack of smokes probably.
Okay, it came across weird, whereas it's like, I don't know. The show made it. Maybe it's just me, but the show made it seem like, okay, Ronnie's dad wasn't there, but like, did Ronnie see something that night that he's not telling anybody?
I think he's more so troubled. I think he's more so troubled that he indirectly walked in to revealing the type of pack that he smokes, and that was in the general's back pocket. And now he has some extra thread to put into the case against him. I think that's the troubling thing here.
Okay, because it seemed like Ronnie's dad was holding something back, like he wasn't telling him everything. Like obviously he kept saying, "But I didn't kill them, but I didn't kill them." But it seems like we might be building up to like Ronnie's dad actually having seen something, and he's just not telling the chief. Or maybe it's like you said, maybe I'm just overthinking it. It's just that like, yeah, Ronnie's just completely. He was at home the whole time and didn't see anything. Maybe that's the case. Draven, what do you think? Did you get that sense that Ronnie's dad might have saw something, or was he at home the whole time and I'm overthinking things? I don't know. But yeah, because I think the previews are also going more into Ronnie's dad. We'll see. But we definitely know he didn't kill those kids. That's that part.
Yeah.
That's the part that we got to get proven. So to counteract what Draven was saying, I think that's the most interesting part. Like, does it happen? Like, this is a very racist town. Like, how are you going to get people to believe, even if you say like, hey, this is freaking Maddie, he's dead. So how did we see him last night? It's like, those are just photos. So yeah.
But I think pictures will be worth more as on our side for this case, because it was not very easy at all to doctor pictures back then. So if you have a legit photograph, I think you can plead a case of like, what the hell is this thing?
So she's going to say, look at this photograph.
Yes. At the very least, I could see the general getting wind of this story and probably clearing the father's name to get him out and get him released because they realize what's actually happening here.
I would like that a lot. That's good. I didn't even think about that. That's a good thing. But yeah, good. I like the episode for the most part. I think it was a very solid episode. Solid pacing as well. I wasn't really bored. The kid stuff at the end was a bit goofy and out of tone a little bit, but overall, I didn't mind it. I think the CGI stuff was well. He could have saw something Pennywise doesn't really show himself to adults. Yeah. I just got. I don't know why I'm watching this prison scene, and I'm just like, is he holding something back? Like, why was he so shaken up by the cigarettes? But maybe you're right, Nathan. Maybe it's just that like he caught me saying that because I like those cigarettes, and he found those near the crime scene, but I wasn't there.
Yeah, because I think that's why he starts freaking out. Like, I didn't do this because the chief is like, we're really gonna miss you around here. Just like your fate is sealed, type thing.
Got it. Yeah. I'll be crashing out too. But okay. We're at 2 hours 60 minutes. I want to end off on some movie stuff real quick. Breaking news happening now.
Let's go.
1 week from today, or 1 week ago, Mummy sequel was dropped. We talked about this off stream, but this is some of the best news ever. Like, this is crazy. And
yeah,
like first of all, Brendan Fraser, Rachel Weisz, are coming back. Phenomenal, great chemistry. This is my first time. The Mummy was my first time seeing Rachel Weisz and Brendan Fraser.
I think it's Rachel Weisz. I think you had it.
I had a Weisz. Okay, I don't know.
Yeah.
I go back and forth. Someone pointed out that the community rose is called Children of Maturin, which is the name of the giant turtle. What?
Right, I told you, Evan. They're pulling it up. The side imagery of it. There was turtle imagery in this episode too.
These It fans run deep. Nice. Also, we didn't talk about it, but the car was from a massacre in 1935. There's a lot of weird dates all about. Like they're in 1962. The passing was 1908. There's a massacre of some sort, and that keeps getting brought up. I wonder if we'll see I wonder if we'll get that flashback to that event, the massacre in 1935. Something went down there that is like that Pennywise is using for a lot of these horror moments.
Yeah, it was the initial taking of the kid in the first episode.
Yeah, exactly. So
Puppetarium.
that
So,
same car, that there was some kind of massacre that people were upset about, and we seem to be interviewing the Native American boy, or Halloran seems to be interrogating that Native American dude next week.
Yeah.
So we'll see what happens. He's using the Jedi mind trick.
The Shining.
The Shining. But yeah, I'm so happy with the Mummy sequel. Brandon Fraser, Rachel Weisz are locked in, coming back. This is one of my favorite movies of all time. I love this movie. I've seen it to death. Love it, love it, love it, love it.
So,
and the directors, Radio Silence.
Yes.
Like, this is perfect.
Yes. Very good. We know that they can do established characters returning from a legacy time frame.
Yeah, they did Scream 5, Scream 6, and Abigail, which I love Abigail.
Yes. I like Abigail a lot. This is very exciting. This is also double exciting to have Rachel Weisz because she did not return for Tomb of the Dragon Emperor. They had to recast her.
They seem to be ignoring that movie.
Yeah, I'm wondering, will they ignore the movie or will they just be like, oh no, we're back, like the Jonah Hill Seth Rogen joke?
They said it in the article that they're ignoring 3. I think so. I think that was because the son comes back in 3 and it's like not great.
Sure.
So.
Would you let me ask you this then. Would you have Imhotep be the main mummy again?
No. That's tough though. I love Imhotep, but what more can you do with this character?
I mean, we beat him twice. He would, if he had any semblance of reawakening, he would want to kill them.
That's bringing the heroes and the villain back for a third movie is a bit much. Make it a different antagonist.
In fairness, we got to revisit them. We will do commentaries for them, but like at the very least, when they did do Mummy Returns, it wasn't just Imhotep doing it again, rebuilding whatnot. He was like functioning off of the co-storyline of the Scorpion King's involvement in the overall plot as well. So maybe there could be a whole other ancient curse that is something that he could seek the power of, whatever it may be.
Whenever I think of Mummy Returns now, Mr. Sunday movies, they did great care in the garbage for Mummy Returns. That was a very hilarious episode. Bring back CGI, because there was a scene I think Mason was talking about where Scorpion King comes back and then he comes out of, he's like,
no, he's like saying that it's like someone had to, it's like they didn't cut the part where like they did cut the audio, but like someone calls action and he runs in the frame.
Yeah.
Oh god!
Whenever I watch Mummy Returns now, I think I can't get that out of my head because this is very funny. I saw that it's 7 years ago now.
It's so funny, but I'm excited about this. Brendan Fraser's charming as ever. Still, Rachel Weisz is great. So to see them together again is going to be magic.
Yeah, I wonder if he's going to get in shape. He was doing a lot of physical stunts, and that was 26 years ago now, 27 years ago.
Tomb of the Dragon Emperor is what broke his body to stop being such an action-heavy actor, because everything was, I think even while filming, he had so many things under his costume to have support and cooling packs and whatnot, because he just couldn't operate. And then he would do stunts and it would kind of 2 steps back his progress. He was nothing if not committed to the role.
So that intrigues me. I'm like, is he gonna get into some kind of fit? Brandon Fraser is no Rock. He's no Tom Cruise. Sure. He's no Keanu Reeves, where he's I'm gonna do my own stunts, even 30 years later. I wonder if Brandon Fraser's coming back, but the son character, because again, I think the son is in Tomb of the Dragon Emperor, but I only saw that movie one time. It's bad.
He is. He's older. He's older,
but I think they want to. I think they're ignoring that because they want to recast and make him more kind of the Mummy Returns. The kid was kind of the focus. And I think they're going to make the son more of the focus and have him do the action sequences. But Harrison did a good job in the last 2 Indiana Jones movies. He was really, you can tell he was doing his old Harrison Ford kind of run there. He was really stretching it. And Brendan Fraser isn't at that age, but fitness wise, I worry for him.
So presently he's 56 years old. like you said, he's no like Tom Cruise, but like just looking at a picture from him this year, he doesn't look out of terrible shape, honestly.
Oh.
Like I'm sure if he wanted to like, hit some diet regimen, he could reach a physicality that would be serviceable. Like I said, like nobody's like forcing the man to like have to be like a Marvel hero physique, but I think he'll be like plenty fit enough for like your average guy of his personality who is like going on these adventures, and like he's capable to traverse these different catacombs, but he's not somebody where he has to like hang off of the side of a plane or nothing.
Yeah, true. So most of it's going to be like running and shooting anyways. Rachel, on the other hand, though, coming off of like Black Widow, like we know she can still do a lot of like good stunts.
Yeah.
And her and stunt double, of course. Hell, probably never be in jungle shape. Yeah.
Who could? That man was carved from stone.
Yeah, that movie, man. I used to watch that a lot. I think I had the George of the Jungle VHS when I was a kid. Right next to my Rugrats movies. So yeah, I doubt he'll be in that kind of shape. But yeah, I think Rachel, the son, Will, and whoever other supporting cast. Hopefully to get Homeboy.
Jonathan?
What?
Jonathan, the brother.
Jonathan, for sure. He's still doing some great work on TV. He was one of my favorite villains turned heroes in Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. He was really good in Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D.
I think I know you're talking about though. From the desert, the guy.
Yeah. I'm from the desert guy, but yeah, Jonathan like has to come back. He's like the comedic heart of the family, and it would be weird just him not being in it unless he's filming something else.
True.
Hugh Jackman, he's eating the spaghetti and dish and all that shit. He's on his. He's on it.
Grilled chicken and the broccoli.
You're right.
Cold showers.
So Jonathan comes back, but yeah, I'm talking about the desert, the guy from the desert. I want to get his name because that's gonna kill me.
Start with an O. Am I mistaken?
Oded Fahir. Yeah.
Great part of the movie is he is just like naturally cool.
Apparently he's gonna be in something. What was it? Was it a movie, TV show? I don't know. Oh, he's gonna be in Star Trek Starfleet Academy next year. And I'm gonna be watching that. What was that comment?
Eating nothing but chicken breasts.
Yeah. You mean the chicken breast hold the chicken?
Excuse me.
That was from
monetized.
40-year-old virgin.
Okay.
I always think of that joke. But anyways, I'm just super excited. Once again, I think for the villain, they're gonna have to get somebody besides Emotep. Even though I love the guy, it's like we got to move on. And no, The Rock. Most people want that to happen.
Tom Cruise.
Tom Cruise is the villain. The Mummy would be amazing.
Tom Cruise is the Mummy.
Tom Cruise is the Mummy.
Canonically, he is now the Mummy.
Stop it.
Prepare to enter a dark universe.
Not again.
No, someone posted a tweet that was like the dark universe if it had sauce, and it was the new Guillermo Frankenstein. Orlok from Nosferatu, Invisible Man, and there was a fourth one. Fucking blanking, but it was really funny.
That's really cool. I like that. But yeah, that's pretty much
it. It was the Shape of Water for Creed and Black.
Doug Jones. That's really cool. But yeah, also on Monday there was a whole article because last Monday we talked about like Netflix wanting to potentially buy WB. And while that might be the case, the article that I was reading from Variety was going into how Netflix might just be putting its bid in there so that Paramount has to be forced to pay more. Kind of like the classic, like how much at an auction? It's like 100,000. Somebody says 200,000. You're like, well, crap. Now I got to go above 200,000 to beat this guy's bid. Even if the guy isn't going to pay an actual 200,000, he wants somebody else to bid more. which might be the case for Netflix. Hugh Jackman was Van Helsing. I never saw that movie, Van Helsing.
Very fun. We should definitely commentary that.
Right next to Constantine.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Sure.
Yeah. So yeah, I doubt Netflix is really going to go through with purchasing Paramount or WB, but the Paramount article was just very, very bad, like very, very bad. And this is coming off of somebody who was like kind of like looking forward to Skydance's merger with Paramount that happened just this year. Because Skydance has had a lot of history with like the Mission Impossible movie, the Star Trek movies, and just like a lot of creativity in general in Hollywood. So I was kind of fine with Paramount merging with Skydance. They've had a history. Yeah. But Paramount merging with WB, this article was very frightening. So I would look this up if you're still watching this 2 hours in. But real quick, so like Ellison is one of the younger white people in Hollywood who was very immersed with AI and wants to continue AI-driven material. Not like AI is writing scripts, but just like using more AI in just like the I don't know. Generative sense, exactly. And just using that within their filmmaking process more so than ever before. On top of that, he's had relationships with the Trumps and how Donald Trump was kind of like supporting, Paramount's bid for WB, which is kind of disheartening. On top of Ellison saying he wants to go through a MAGA, MAGA focused push within Paramount, like creativity wise, which is just, people have already said like a lot of their Yellowstone-esque shows are already like kind of like red state driven kind of material. And that kind of stuff is just like very like it's the stuff that I read from the article is just wild, like MAGA driven storytelling, AI focus, wanting to get in closer with Donald Trump, having support there from the Trump and the presidency in terms of like pushing for this deal to happen. It's just very, very, very icky stuff. Now, I think Netflix is bad because WB movies can go straight to streaming. The theatrical is going to be taking a big hit if it happens to Netflix. But a lot of stuff from Ellison taking over WB is just like not good. People are like, does James Gunn even want to work with them if that happens? Where I think Ellison was even talking about like he wouldn't touch James Gunn, that he will make DC Studios its own thing still. But still, it's just like you watch Superman. That's like the exact opposite. Paramount says South Park, right? Yeah, exactly. But like just with this head being so like MAGA Trump focused, is like I worry about the creativity there. They're already dismantling a lot of the diversity and inclusivity groups that were in play at Paramount. And I know this from a reality TV point of view, where post 2020 with like the Black Lives Matter, Me Too movements, they did add a diversity and inclusion clause to every single one of their reality TV, where 50% of the cast has to be people of color. That has been slowly like sliding away, and it's only 2025 already. And I can see that seeping into diversity within scripted shows as well, and scripted films as well, which is just troubling. So that is just a very disheartening article about like how this young buck, new head of Paramount, Ellison, is really shaping the future of Paramount to be, once again, be more MAGA driven, AI driven. And on top of all of that, I'll get to that. Yeah. On top of that, Paramount also, so goodbye Star Trek Chris Pine, that has officially been dead, which is unfortunate because I love Star Trek 2009. I like Into Darkness.
It's dead?
It's dead. Yeah, he said he's moving on from that. He said it would be cost ineffective. And, I think he just wants to go to a different route with the Star Trek franchise.
I know we're 9 years on, but God, just want one more.
Yeah, me
Just
too.
one.
Man, me too. I want to go to the exact article or part of the article here. But yeah, he says like we're going after Warner's. He's making it known like from a lot of like studios, like, hey, Paramount is really going after Warner's. But he also said, he says he wants to embrace AI and continue to use it to develop revolutionary ways to understand what consumers want for their movies. Like, what does that even mean? Let's see here. I want to get to the Skydance stuff. I'll find it. But as I'm scrolling, one of the bigger parts was that he's made a blacklist. This was going around the internet last week too.
Right.
The whole blacklist about people who are against, Israel, basically. He's called
all the DC people.
He's making a blacklist of people like who are anti-Semitic, because that's the defense for a lot of people. It's like you're being anti-Semitic if you're going against Israel, right? And of course, that list includes Javier Bardem, Mark Ruffalo, Emma Stone, and because he says here, Paramount maintains a list of talent it will not work with because they are deemed overtly anti-Semitic and xenophobic and homophobic. Seriously, Emma Stone, really. So it's laughable. It's like, and I'm just
Mark Ruffalo.
Imagine being a studio denying talent of Academy Award winners and nominees Javier Bardem, Mark Ruffalo, Emma Stone, just to name a few, right? Like, okay, cool. They won't work. They won't get cast. They'll just work.
Probably Melissa Barrera is on the list if I were to guess.
Probably, yeah. But they'll probably work with any other studio. So that's just wild.
Yeah. This isn't to any of the same degree, but it is crazy when like you think of back of like WB was just like being very ridiculous with Nolan's stuff, and he was like, I'm gonna go to Universal, and then he like had the best strike of his life with Oppenheimer, and it's like studios, you're about to miss the fuck out on amazing things that you could have with this talent because you're not picking up the right thing because you're like you're against Israel, that like the Nazis. No, that's not what's happening here.
It's insane. It's absolutely insane. But I found the part where it's like the hope is to have a fresh Star Trek movie, though the studio has moved on from the idea of bringing back Chris Pine, Zachary Quinto, and the rest of the ensemble from J.J. Abrams' reboot. Instead, it'll be working on again a fresh hope for the franchise. So they've been doing good stuff on TV wise. I think Star Trek Strange New Worlds is a phenomenal TV show. But we'll see what they can cook with film because they seem to have a good grasp on TV, but their film, they don't know. They seem to be relying on, they say, the sequels to Top Gun Maverick and Days of Thunder, with Tom Cruise recently visiting Paramount to congratulate them on the Skydance team taking over and discuss returning to those franchises and other possible collaborations. So that's Tom Cruise because nobody hates Tom Cruise. But they do say like not everything has gone smoothly because they lost Taylor Sheridan, which has been the moneymaker for Paramount Plus. Like there would be no Paramount Plus without Yellowstone and all the other TV shows.
It's like Vince Gilligan like harshly left AMC.
Yep. So, but yeah, Taylor Sheridan is now moving over to Universal, and that goes with Draven's quote there that Universal recently is also getting their hat in the ring. Universal, which I've been praising for a long time now, is having a really good 2020s in general, especially with their DreamWorks division. Super Mario was a huge success. Super Mario Galaxy, by the way, the sequel, has its first trailer this Wednesday at the Nintendo Direct. That's gonna be very exciting. Even though somebody who didn't love Super Mario the movie, Super Mario Galaxy is one of my favorite games of all time. So I'm very
animation is amazing.
the animation's phenomenal, fantastic. So I'm very curious to see what they can do with a Galaxy movie.
Yeah.
But Universal also has a great deal with Christopher Nolan, as Nathan mentioned with Oppenheimer. Now they got with the Odyssey, and now they got Taylor Sheridan. So yeah, Universal is just doing a lot of good stuff right now. And I think isn't Universal the one that has to deal with Jordan Peele? Is that right?
I think so. But they have Blumhouse, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah, Blumhouse as well. Yes. So they've been making a lot of good creative deals recently.
Yeah. Wicked has been a phenomenal hit for them last year and this year for sure.
I forgot that was Universal. Yeah. So yeah, Wicked's it's going to be another big hit for the Academy Awards and just financially. So that's my best. Oh, sorry.
So I mean, I also presume Flanagan's Exorcist is also with them as well. So
bingo. Thank you for remembering. Yeah. Universal also got the rights to Flanagan's. You said what? Carrie or Exorcist?
Exorcist.
Yeah.
Carrie,
so that's what makes sense. Is what channel is Carrie going to be on? Is that Amazon?
I think we said Amazon.
Amazon Prime.
Yeah.
Of course, they won't say no to Tom Cruise. They won't have the wrath of Scientology come down on them. Tom Cruise is like one of those where like any studio would want Tom Cruise because there's no group of people in the world who's just like hates on Tom Cruise, at least to a financial degree. So that's currently now the big hope that Universal can be the one to scoop up WB. Of course, the biggest hope is that WB just maintains its stuff as an iconic studio. But as you mentioned last week, David Zaslav, ever since coming over, has kind of, now looking at it, has just had the mission of like making WB as good as it can be, as this year is showcasing with one battle after another in Sinners, and then just using that clout to get a big asking price when it's time to sell, which is exactly what is currently happening. Studios keep denying Paramount deals because they want Paramount to go higher. Netflix is coming in there, so Paramount has to be forced to go higher. And now Universal is getting in the ring and has to go even higher than that. So that seems to be David Zaslav's big thing. I'm going to make WB have as much success as possible, which is crazy because of all the stuff that he was doing with WB earlier. And now, we're at the whim of Paramount versus Universal. That's kind of where we're looking at it right now. And obviously, again, I want Universal to get the win here. It's so unfortunate. I can't imagine. I can't imagine going to the movies and just not seeing the WB logo. Like that's just it's frightening. It's frightening.
I feel like you still would, but like instead of it being a Discovery company at the bottom, it would now say like a Paramount company at the bottom or something. I don't know.
Yeah.
It's all scary monopoly.
Yep. But yeah, that's about it.
Right on. I got I don't know if you have more stories. I'd always like to bring the Marvel wheelhouse of rumor.
Oh sure. Yep. Hit me.
Hit me. Joker reference. All right. Well, they're like randomly going off of rumors. Sometimes there's interviews as well, but rumors presently is that Avengers Doomsday will reportedly include multiple variants of Doctor Doom, including a female version. Could be interesting.
Variant of Doctor Doom? Wow, I didn't even hear that.
Yeah, that's a very recent rumor as of today. I think 8 hours ago.
Is that not Doom bots or just variants of Doom?
I think it would actually be variants of Doom, which sounds like maybe they're trying to streamline what they would have done with the Council of Kang storyline. I don't know.
Maybe. I can't picture variants of Doom.
I know.
I wasn't even thinking that. I'll keep that on the 10% chance of happening, Bob.
Yeah.
I can see the Scooper being confused with maybe that's like a Doom bots, where it's just like you see a lot of Dooms. It could just be Doom bots. Kind of like the Chitauri or like the random easy to defeat red shirts kind of thing.
Yeah, for sure. That could definitely happen. Josh Brolin recently in an interview talked about the potential of returning for an upcoming Avengers movie as Thanos, and he says if Joe Russo comes to me, which he may have, I don't know, and has an idea, then I might acquiesce. Imagine we're gonna get that Secret Wars Doom pulled Thanos spine out.
You think we're gonna get that?
I think so. I don't think you're not gonna like see on screen it come from flesh. Though maybe you could because it's not human blood. I don't know, but
I think how many times did you see Thanos get like? Okay, we saw Thanos get his head cut off. Like, how much? What's the purpose of it? Like? He's not that like doing that in the comics was like a showcase of wow, like he's so much more powerful than even Thanos. But we already saw that heroes defeat Thanos twice now, so it's like okay.
I think it's just I think it's just fulfilling the page thing, and I think like thematically in the movie presentation, I see what they would be doing. I wonder if this would also like reflect if Josh Brolin would return as Thanos like post reset, because you know it is a motion performance capture, so it's not something he necessarily would age out of. And depending on how they decide to use Thanos in the reset, could be interesting. He does a good job.
Yeah, he does do a good job. I just think even post reset that like they'll take a break from Thanos. I think we're good. But I love you, Josh.
Yeah. Simu Liu had addressed his future in the MCU after Doomsday, and he said, "I would keep doing Shang-Chi sequels as long as I physically could." So it's music to your ears.
Music to my ears. I love hearing that. I mean, his movie came out, Nathan, in 2021. What are we doing? What are we doing? Like that's Marvel incompetency at its best. Like, come on.
Yeah.
Wild.
Recently there was a shot of Brie Larson going to vote in the past week, and she was very like hiding her hair. Like I think she was even like saying like ignore my hair in the caption as she was wearing a hood, but like you could just see like the blonde streak straight, and it was like I think she's filming as Carol for Doomsday right now.
That's cool. Doing some reshoots.
Yeah. Oscar Isaac had said he would be open to returning to Star Wars. This goes into junction in terms of working with Disney as a whole, but right now he's kind of iffy because he thinks they're kind of fascism-y right now.
Absolutely loved that from this morning. Yeah. King Oscar Isaac there. It's like Bob Iger.
If you could not succumb to fascism, that would be great.
That'd be great. Yeah.
Which could spell uncertainty for the nearest Moon Knight return. Unfortunate, but that is.
I've been thinking he's been done with Moon Knight. Like the only crumb we could ever get from Moon Knight would have been like a Midnight Suns kind of thing. That's always been like up in the air.
That's true. It had also been a rumor that Doomsday is going to be the last role Patrick Stewart acts in before retiring.
I saw that. People were like, did Kevin Feige kill him? But no. That makes
sense.
90. He's like 90 years old. Yeah, he has to hang it up. Like, of course, people would want him to be like one last drama film and then end it. But he's had a incredible career. So whenever he decides to hang it up, it makes sense. Him and Ian McKellen.
Yeah, man. I think I'd also heard that the first trailer we're going to get for Doomsday likely won't show Doom unmasked.
Yeah. I heard Christian Harloff's been teasing some stuff on his Christian Harloff live channel about like, and he's been going back and forth too. He said like, I didn't say he's going to be unmasked. I didn't say he was going to be masked. I'm like, I think you're saying the latest one was that like he won't be unmasked. Is your latest one?
Yeah, and in the footage for the teaser, you're not going to see Doom without his mask on.
That makes sense. They might want to save. Does it make sense? I hope so. He better keep his mask on the entire fucking movie. But
at the very least, I have seen, like we talked about, I've seen what Robert looks like with the scarring, and I think it looks pretty effective.
Robert in scar.
It is, but it looks gnarlier than you would have expected. It's like a spoiler, I guess. it's like a slash down the whole center of his face, and it's like been stretched back on evenly, and like it gets the idea across very well without like taking away that like that it is Robert.
I'll see how they commit to it on like actual film instead of like concept art or.
Well, this is a still, but yeah, I had a scene.
There's no still from the movie that hasn't been filmed.
No, I meant not a still. I mean like a makeup close up photo taken.
Oh, yeah. But they're gonna want to CGI it or put some stuff on it, some digital effects on it.
Maybe need to.
I'd say they do for the most part with all those guys, especially with the big stars on film.
Yeah, if it's extreme, but I don't think it's I don't think this VFX process is going to take any longer to apply than like maybe half an hour.
Perhaps. I'm just so nervous they're just going to want to showcase Robert because like why else would you get Robert? It's not like his voice acting is the best.
Yeah. I mean, I know they're going to show Robert for sure, but like, you know, we do get plenty of like Iron Man moments where it's just the face shell. I mean, yeah, they do like the HUD inside, but
we see that with Doom.
No, we're not. But I'm excited to see it with Riri when she comes back.
You and one other person.
You don't like her?
The ending really bummed me out. I'm like, okay, cool.
We'll fix it in Young Avengers and Champions.
We have to finish it in another show. Another show has to be taken out.
All right. Well, anyway, was there news of a Jurassic World 6?
Oh yeah, we talked about that. Yeah, Jurassic World Rebirth is officially in the works. Yeah, Jurassic Rebirth 5. Jurassic World 5.
Jurassic World 5 Rebirth 2.
God damn. But yeah, that I can't wait to see. I'm actually, I think me and you were like one of the few that are actually really excited to see where this can go. Because again, I think the first one, this new one isn't great, but it was a really fun movie. I think you can tell is rushed because the character relationships or the character writing is just very weak. But otherwise, I liked the overall story. It was fine. It was a good.
I found this trio more engaging than the previous 3, and they're all set to return. So,
yeah, I like this trio. I like. Yeah. I think they have chemistry, which is propelled by like them being Jonathan Bailey, Scarlett Johansson, and Mahershala Ali. They're all great actors who are just going to inherently have good chemistry. So I think they had good chemistry. It's just that their depth as characters was kind of paper thin. But I think that was because it was obviously kind of very rushed. But like now that they have their characters' relationships established, you can actually dive into who they are as characters. It'd be very interesting. And I did make fun of like the ending of this movie being like, we can't give it to the rich people. We have to give it to the pharmaceutical companies. Like, what does that even mean? What does that mean? Like the pharmaceutical companies are just as like, corrupt as the person that we killed off in this movie.
I think the idea is like they're giving it to more than one source, so they all have access to it. So it's a wide.
Awesome. That can also be very flawed. But yeah, I see the intention. So I'm curious to see what happens. So I only have one question for you, Nathan.
Yeah.
Is this just another island movie? They got away with it here because this is a rebirth. We're going back to the island. This was the neighboring island, basically. This was the other island you didn't hear about.
This is the 5th neighboring island in the coast of Costa Rica.
But what do we do now? Another island? Where did the franchise go?
We're going back in time to the Cretaceous period.
Samurai Jack, Back to the Past?
To the real Jurassic World. No, it's I don't know, because the dinosaurs are presently dying off that are not around the equator. So I feel like we've done every combination possible of like stealing dinosaurs from the island, which we've done multiple times. They're overrunning humanity, but also we didn't get to see that. Now they're dying off, so we kind of skipped over it.
Fuck.
And even like the little bits we did in Dominion were like amidst a Bourne-style espionage chase.
That was bad.
So I don't know what the story's gonna be, but I'll be intrigued to see what they try to come up with to stand out from the rest. Maybe it could be like the last few dinos that are still existing that are dying off. Maybe they're trying to get them back to the equator. I don't know.
Mm-hmm. Or yeah, maybe there's like this, because yes, that's a good thing. You mentioned the equator. Maybe there's like this island that's like super. Actually, no, I'm stupid. I was gonna say maybe like there's like this habitat close to the equator, but isn't that kind of what the movie we got? Wasn't that close to the equator already?
Maybe. Yeah. I mean, yeah. It's Costa Rica, so
it's going to space, baby. Dinos in space. Let's go. And Fast and Furious is still in limbo. Yeah. When did Fast 10 come out, or 11, whatever?
I want to say 23. Wow. Evan, if some people have like said like maybe that will be the last movie, and it's like if they died off screen in that plane crash, I'm gonna lose my mind.
I forget that's so funny. What happened to Jason Momoa? Was he alive at the end of that movie? Did he crash?
Yeah, he walks away as like the victor here as he blows up the dam while Dom and his son are driving down the side of the dam, and Reacher crashes the plane in the foreground where they crash behind a mountain, so we don't see the cars escaping.
And then we see Gal Gadot on a submarine, right?
Yes, picking up Letty and Charlize Theron with normal hair now. Thank God. And she's on our side. So luckily she won't be a stupid menacing villain anymore, hopefully.
How is what we're saying not fake? Everything that we're saying actually happened. That's crazy.
And it made money, didn't it?
It made a lot of money.
Also, The Rock is in the post-credit scene as well. Hobbs is back. Hobbs is no, that's it. Hobbs is talking to fucking Jason Momoa on the fucking radio.
Oh yeah, it's like, are you trying to come for me or something like that? Wow.
I told you to whoop ass or whatever the fuck.
They threw everything at that movie. That's crazy.
The climactic finale, Evan. It's the end game of
the part one. It was Infinity War. That was the Infinity War.
Remember when he was on the carpet and he was like, "This could be the start of a trilogy instead of just 2-part." Like, how big in your britches must you get, sir?
Like, fast forward to the director quitting and then movie being paused for over a year. It also Vince, what's his name? Fucking Vin Diesel. Yes. I will hunt you down if you bring back Paul Walker in any scenario. I will hunt you down. I do not want that. I will walk out. Because I think he talked about that, right? He talked about like bringing him back as a full character now.
I fear that. At most I would have thought if they were to ever do that, it's like a 3-second shot of him sitting at the cookout or something. That's it.
That's all. I wouldn't be upset about that. Like, okay, even like 5 minutes, like even like 5 minutes where he has like some dialogue. Keep it at the very, 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 very end of the movie. That's fine. But if you make him a central character, I'm out. Don't do that. That's disrespectful.
That's way too much because they're gonna have to use the AI for the voice and whatnot. And that's no bueno. I've loved that they have been the one franchise where you lose the actor, but they keep the character alive because like you don't have to kill him off. I know you're trying to explain narratively, but like you can just write up a story reason like they have with Brian. He's off with the kids. He's out of this life. He's no longer in it. Granted, they've faced a lot of shit where they probably could have used his help, but because we know the real world situation, it works for me. And I like that. Like the max they did in F9 is that his car pulls up for the cookout and then it cuts to credits. We don't see the driver or anything, and that's perfect. That's great. We know he's still around and involved. That's all you. Yeah. And then the idea of like, because they would market the fuck out of that if he's a main character in the movie. Don't do that.
Don't do that.
You're just milking. Like you're trying to capture the magic, I guess, of like the success of Furious 7 at that point, because you're marketing where Paul's in it. But this is like the reversal where it's distasteful and dishonorable.
Yeah. Exactly. But of course, they're going to be like, well, we knew Paul Bass. He would want to be in this like a stuff. So yeah, that's about it.
It's also so weird that I feel like I've seen multiple times of Vin Diesel posting on set of Fast and Furious, and I'm like, are you filming the next one? Are you not? Who's directing this? What's happening? When is it coming out? Can I see it?
Yeah, I don't think he even knows. I think at this point, 2027 at the earliest, if even that.
Maybe they're just like Universal's like, hey, we're having a good ride with Nolan and Wicked right now. We're just gonna let those play, and then we'll circle back to the Fast family for a surefire crutch that we might need.
Yeah, one more movie. They're not going to do like 2 more movies or spin-offs or anything. It's like it's time to put this to bed.
Brie Larson just joined.
Yeah, I know. Yeah, I forgot she was in the last one.
I know, but yeah, that'll do it.
That'll do it. How do we went 2 hours and 50 minutes? That's how we do it, baby. Find me on Twitter, HarrisEV9. Talking all things anime, Star Wars, Hunt for Ben Solo, shit like that. I'm all over the place. Yeah. How about you, Nathan?
You can find me at _TimeBlazer, making a show called Time Blazer with co-star and creator consultant Evan Harris.
Playing Ben, the best character that ever was, who can easily beat up. I already said the Pennywise joke, but once again, I'll say it again. I can box. If Hanlon can potentially box Pennywise, Ben can.
You want to make a Predator connection? Badlands?
Ooh, who would win the fight, Ben or Predator or Deck? Sorry, Deck's getting his ass beat up. Sorry, buddy. Right? Nathan!
I think start of the film Deck would for sure.
Yeah, and the film Deck was boxing his dad. I'm like, holy shit! Like that was crazy. So you're right. I might bow down to Deck. So
yeah.
Well, Hobbs talked to them.
I think they squash beef. Yeah, I think they will. We did it. We already did it. We went like for a while in F9.
Yeah, that was like 30 minutes of them against space, cutting back.
That was
and
part
forth.
of the third act. Yeah.
Yeah.
But yeah, if you guys enjoyed this, make sure you like button, subscribe, already ring the bell. So this coverage on all things movie and TV. Thank you, Draven, again for joining us along to ask interesting questions. If you would like to answer it, have a question answered, leave a comment. Join the live streams and comments along. We will gladly answer. And that being said, hope you have a great day. Catch you guys next time.
Bye-bye.